7 o'clock in St. Louis, you are listening to The Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. It's the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, and Little Jackie Papers. Loved that Rascal Puff, and he's wearing his 101 ESPN. Is that or is that just really an ESPN thing?
101.
101 ESPN.
Yeah.
Chairman Kurt will take your phone calls. He'll also take your emails. Here's how you get involved on this presentation. You can call in at 314-974-0101. Callier and Thompson sponsors those phone lines. You can text into our Air Comfort Service text inbox. The number is 314-399-9646. And then you can watch the show anytime you want, whether it be live or go back and watch the presentation via the TMA STL YouTube channel. You just open up YouTube, type TMA STL, you subscribe to it. And if you could, maybe 20 of you subscribe today, because then they will walk in with gold bullion for Doug.
That'd be
because
sweet.
that 7,000 subscriber purchase, something that you set in your bonus structure.
I
tip my cap to your representation for having the foresight to do that.
Yeah, I'm big into bullion.
So that's how you can get involved on this presentation. And, of course, you can email in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. The program broadcasting from the Stifel studios, our polosplus.com dossier. Walter, new Hall of Famer, Keith Tkachuk, 7:30 on the Callier and Thompson phone lines.
Mostly to berate him for his son's not coming here.
Thank you. That's all this is going to be.
He doesn't know that. Hey, Hall of Famer, why don't you hop on and talk about the career? One question on that, Tim. We pivot and drill down.
Ambush him.
Yeah.
Classic bait and switch. Mm-hmm. Show up to set thinking it's one thing. Next thing you know, there's four guys standing there. Doug, then at 8:40, Jeremy Rutherford, 8:40, and he's coming into studio. He's coming to the Stifel Studios Papers?
That's right.
You better believe he is, because we've got a lot going on, brother. And that is why Doug Vaughn's Lifetime Roofing lead today is perhaps the biggest decision of your career.
Oh, I don't know.
Jackson says it's 3 Michigan Wolverines going at 9, 11, and 12. That's what he's got in the Polos Plus dossier. I don't know. I guess
As the lead?
I mean, look at the Polos Plus dossier, man. Let's do some show prep.
My question is journalistic chops.
You got the St. Louis baseball Cardinals. The bullpen not available last night, so Friends came out to pitch and engage in full counts in the 9th inning. And then it got away from them. But then the boys rallied, because this team plays a hard 27 outs, I think is what Chip Carey said. I liked that.
Well,
hard 27, because the skipper used to say hard 9. Hard 27 outs.
27
I
outs.
also heard Chip say last night, in that 9th inning where Matt Swanson struggled, Chip said, well, as my dad used to say, the bases are loaded, and if this keeps up soon, I will be too. I kind of enjoyed that.
So you got that as a choice. The St. Louis Blues have traded Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals. That has people buzzing in the St. Louis area. England with a controversial draw.
Oh, boy. I pushed the over for everybody. I'm sorry. I'm going to take some time away.
You're going to take some time away because of the 0-0?
Yeah.
And
Ronaldo. Got a brace.
A couple of them.
He responded. So, Doug, this is your time. The Lifetime Roofing lead, lifetimeroofingstl.com. That's Dustin McClendon's business. You got roof problems, you go to lifetimeroofingstl.com. Veteran-owned, locally owned. They don't do business anywhere but the St. Louis metropolitan area. They're not storm chasing. They're taking care of you, which means they're locally owned and locally accountable to you. And they're called Lifetime Roofing because you can get a lifetime warranty with Dustin McClendon and his team at Lifetime Roofing online at lifetimeroofingstl.com. The sponsor of Doug Vaughn's biggest decision ever. The lead on the Morning After here on 101 ESPN on June 24th, 2026.
I believe the lead is the trade of Jordan Kyrou.
I agree with you. Martin, do you agree with that?
I do. I thought maybe there'd be a hint of what's going on with the Cardinals. Big announcement at 1 o'clock, Doug.
Yeah.
But I think we can all kind of see where that one's headed.
Yeah.
Ownership transition.
I believe so.
I agree. Jordan Kyrou. It's fun. Harrison's brother, Master, said he would call in.
He's calling in today.
He said when Kyrou is traded, I think he hinted that he had further details behind it all. I don't know, but it's finally. I think JR is going to be more relieved than anybody.
Yeah, I wonder
just
who
that
the new player to hate will be.
Oh, boy.
Is Buchnevich?
Buchnevich, probably.
Yeah, he's live.
High price guy.
Oh, come on, Doug. It's Roycroft getting traded. That's from MD 2020.
it is.
So that's the thing. I don't know if you could win in that spot.
Well, I did win. He just lost. We've been talking about Kyrou maybe getting traded for a couple of years now. He has been the Blues' highest scoring player in terms of goals over the last 5 years.
So you're irate that they did this?
No, I'm not irate. I kind of expected it and happy with what they got in return.
I'm pretty sure we actually did a prediction area yesterday, and it might have been the first time we were all unanimous, although in fairness, Martin, Doug, and myself all said he would not be a member of the Blues within the next 48, 72 hours, and Jackson didn't say he would be. He just said he's indifferent.
Oh, you son of a...
I think it's the first time we were unanimous and we were correct.
Yeah, I think that's key.
Yep, all three hit. Yep.
Doug, off he goes. Jordan, Kyrou. My initial reaction, and I don't know where you guys are, was I can't believe what they were able to get without having to pick up any dollars for it. I couldn't be more delighted.
Yeah.
He's signed through 2031, I believe.
At $8.125 million a year.
Which, if you score 30 goals, that's a great deal. It's not a terrible contract. But if you're the Caps, are you sure what you're getting over the next 5-6 years? I thought it was a great return.
Yeah.
4 first-round
Yeah,
picks now, man.
Yeah. And Connor McMichael is a pretty good player.
Second-line center?
Could be. I mean, he had 26 goals 2 seasons ago. You got to probably pencil him in for 18, 20 goals or so. And who knows what they can get for the first-round pick. You would kind of think they might be trying to move up in the draft with 4 first-rounders.
I would say that is a tight read. Tight read.
Yeah. Might as well give it a go. But anyway, they got $8 million off the payroll. That gives them some flexibility to maybe pick up a free agent. Or McMichael is a restricted free agent after this summer, so they're going to have to cough up a little bit more to keep him.
Just listening and learning.
Okay, well, you will. You'll learn a lot here, Mo.
Guys, see, Jugs in D.C. is our capital correspondent, but also Capitals correspondent. And Jugs in D.C. says, fleeced. My Caps friends are furious about this. So they are not happy in D.C., per our Atlantic 10 basketball correspondent, our Lambert correspondent, and, of course, our Capital correspondent on the ground in Washington.
Well, I always thought Kyrou would be a better player on a really good team, where he wasn't expected maybe to play a strong two-way game, where he get on the power play with a couple of other talented people. I think his goals could go up quite a bit. And so maybe it'll work out for Washington. Washington's a better team than the Blues are right now.
Wasn't this like 12 hours ago? Would have been nice to get a live reaction from the dais. That's from Mr. Mudjack.
Yeah, thanks.
Break into programming? Or just be a guy who holds up his phone and gives take?
It was about, 4 to 4:30 maybe-ish in that range, so we should have had an immediate summit.
Yeah. We should have all came right to the studio.
What you do is you grab your phone, and wherever you are, Tim, Doug, doesn't matter, you walk down the hallway and you walk and talk, and then people also kind of see how nice your house is, and you just keep walking. And say,
Do you
okay.
do it to show people how nice your house is?
I think some have used it for that reason.
Oh, wow.
And you walk and talk, and the camera's only about a foot away from your nostrils, but you say, all right, here's the deal, guys. Wanted to hop on real quick to give you some thoughts on this Kyrou trade. And then you just keep walking around the hallway. But you couldn't possibly stop.
I got to remember that.
You couldn't stop and talk to do an emergency pod. You need to walk and talk.
Now, you've shown off your beautiful, do you call it a foyer or foyer?
Foyer.
Yeah.
I'm not French. To me, it's a foyer.
Parlez-vous français?
Remember when you had to do the sports from home?
And you had to put your Emmys behind you? That was the deal?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I did it from the family room.
Would you wear a blue blazer every night?
Pretty much.
Pajama bottoms?
Well, not the pajama bottom. I wore nothing at all below the waist.
This guy.
McMichael had just as many points as Kyrou last year. It's from Doug's prison wallet.
Yeah, and he's a couple years younger and much cheaper.
Well, it was time. I think everybody agreed it was time.
Yeah, it was kind of like Gorman with the Cardinals, where you can see there's talent there, but they're just not getting as much out of it as they want. And he might be it might serve him very well just to have a change of scenery.
I would say in terms of the ending, that's a good comp. Like just the frustration level, I think, with fan and organization had maxed out. But Kyrou had a much better career than Gorman in terms of being a pro.
That is a take.
It's a strong take. It's one of the best takes ever.
Well, I don't know if it's
hard.
one of the best, but it was a good one.
Papers is flirting with you.
Paper, am I getting racked?
He just gave you a couple guns in the air right there.
And as exciting as it is to say you got 4 first-round picks, which sounds great, that doesn't do you any good next year, the year after that, or maybe even the year after that. I did see the Hawks traded the 4th pick to Buffalo, so that was, I don't know if they would ever trade with the Blues. Armstrong seemed to indicate on Monday it's more likely you move like to 8, 7, 8, 9, like a couple spots up. But they got options.
Yeah, even with the picks, there's no guarantee that any of those guys will be players.
Correct.
You would think that you could hit on first rounders, but it's not always the case.
And Big Walt, who's going to join us at 7:30, I believe did some of the scouting on Kyrou back in the day in Sarnia. And for a second-round pick, had a pretty good run.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There was a time where he was, you go back 2 years or so, I guess you could say he was the best player they had.
And what I don't know, and maybe JR would know this, is if there was frustration at Kyrou, they were always kind of wanting him to do a little more, or maybe that next step, if there was frustration with his teammates. I don't know that. And I think also body language. He's kind of a quiet kid. The famous Berube line, he's not my coach, gets booed, he cries. I mean, I think there were some missteps here and there. But on the whole, he had a decent run, but I think it was definitely time.
100%. I am thrilled. I think that what we've seen from both organizations here over the last few weeks, while perhaps not on the precipice of a championship, but you are starting to make moves via subtraction that then puts you in a better position going forward. And this is one Blues fans have been talking about for a number of years. And I think a lot of it comes down to a frustration when you see raw talent and it not maximized. And in particular, in a sport that the word effort is used so commonly throughout, Jordan Kyrou and effort were the biggest question marks. So that, I think, is why many Blues fans are thrilled. Then you factor in what we've been talking about with the 4 first-round draft picks and how that positions the Blues going into this coming draft.
Yeah. And the additional savings of at least, like $6 million in the payroll.
Kyrou was the Brendan Ryan of the Blues. That's from Doug's prison wallet. Could they have thrown in Sharon in the deal? That's from Sharon's Ladue Pool Boy. I don't know if that ever came up. I guess we can ask Walt. He's going to be with us here in 17 minutes. Is that the first question, or do we congratulate him on the Hall of Fame?
That's probably first question. I don't think that's fair at all.
Very good question.
To say he's the Brendan Ryan of the Blues. Kyrou was as good a player as the Blues had for several years.
All-Star.
You guys have any decent questions?
Won the fastest skating competition at that All-Star. Was that in Vegas, Doug, I believe?
There's no
Scored
question.
about 100 goals in a 3-year stretch.
He is a talented offensive player. You can't take that away from him.
Kyrou's a regular season player that needs stars to facilitate for him to be good. He doesn't play defense or do what it takes to win. That is not a playoff player, a guy who can make $8 million a year. Doug, that's Steven time. There's the brothers' time. Ed, Steven.
Okay. Well, some of that is the rap against him for sure. I haven't looked specifically at his playoff stats to see what he did in the playoffs. And I can't find it now, so I won't.
Nice. I don't mind that kind of effort.
But when a guy scores...
It's a great thing to do here. Tribute to Jordan Kyrou.
When a guy puts 3 years together where he scored 37, 31, and 36 goals, that's a productive player.
How about this text, Tim? It says, worst trade ever, and it's from an account called Free Kyrou.
How about that? He's invested. Hey, ding dong, the witch is dead. Last night, I bought out all the moving boxes, bubble wrap, and packing tape at Home Depot. Just need to make the 2 men at a truck appointment. Hey, Master, what time you coming by to party? That's from Sharon and Clayton. Oh. And it sounds like Sharon and Clayton and Harrison's brother Master are going to have a party today.
Sick. Well, I did a little bit of work and found Kyrou's postseason stats. 28 postseason games, he scored 11 goals, 2 assists. He was a minus 12.
And you like that?
I don't like the minus 12 part, but 21-22, he scored 7 goals in the playoffs. So,
What day's work, Dougie?
It was an extra click on the internet here.
They were accusing you of a Kyrou type effort with your homework there, Doug.
Yeah.
Work, bitch.
Papers is speaking through the computer
you are.
today.
He's kind of dialed in right now. NBA draft season's when he peaks.
It's true.
As he spins back to the board.
Back to go. There he goes.
Keaton Wagler. Number 5. How do you do?
Yeah, what about that?
Who
If they would have told you that in mid-November.
Yeah, right. Who?
A year ago, Slew, I think, was still in on him. He was a late Illinois addition there.
Yeah.
The team instantly got better as soon as he got traded. That's from Thrilla in Manila. How about the Chaminade kid going to the Spurs? Talk about that. That's from Adonis
Reed.
Jordan, Doug. He played with Kansas in 1988. Danny and the Miracles.
Okay.
It's hard to follow players where they get drafted because they immediately get traded. Hey, you went to the Nugget. Well, put the hat down. You're going to San Antonio. It was, about 5 in a row papers?
Yeah.
Where the pick by the team immediately shipped to another team.
There was a guy walking up to
What
the
is that
stage.
about? What
There was a
is
guy walking up to the stage saying, "Damn, I'm getting traded," because he got drafted by the Knicks and then immediately sent to the Lakers.
Some clown Blues fans would rather have 12 Nathan Walkers than a guy who can score 35 goals. That's from Lappy, Doug. Ian LaPerriere.
Okay. Well, they are going to have to replace his scoring. That's for sure. I don't know where that's going to come from, but that it does leave a bit of a hole there. I guess McMichael could pick up at least half of what Kyrou scored.
Hey, Jackson, how many Mizzou players got drafted? Can't wait to get them. Can't wait to see them go 0-3 in Enterprise this year. ILL, bitch.
Oh.
That's from Jenna. Her last name is Tolles.
All right. Oh, and
0-3, I got Slew coming
Slew,
here. I got Illinois coming here.
What's the third?
Is there a friendly somewhere?
I don't think so. Kansas is a Sprint Center or whatever it's called now, T-Mobile, right? It's in Kansas City. No,
Yeah.
was it in Kansas City last year? Who knows?
We're not checking that either.
They will not go. They'll split the Illinois Slew game, I bet.
Oh, bold prediction.
Who's going to be the win? Who's going to be the loss?
Do tell.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Are you doing your local college basketball rankings?
Not yet. Can't.
So
I'm not Lenardi. I can't. I'm not. I don't have a crystal ball.
With, I guess, when you include Miami and March, Jenna says.
Oh, so you're going back? Okay, so we're already 0-1. That's tough.
With 4 first-round picks, the Blues will be making a major trade on Friday. Kyrou had to go, and it was a smart deal. Now they're going to nab a star for Bennington, Jimmy Snipes, and a couple of those draft slots. How about that? That's from the 417.
They won't trade Snuggerud.
You heard anything about them trading Snipes, Martin?
I would say close to 0% chance
Yeah,
of
I
that.
was surprised to read that.
He's the main guy they're building around right
Which
now.
hole is the most important to plug at this moment?
Oh,
So look at that.
gosh.
He's asking a question.
Good question too.
Thank you. Miami in March, idiots. It's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
That's
Well, we're going backwards.
We're not idiots. You're referencing from a season ago. The windshield is bigger than the rear view there, Chief.
Doug, did you hear that?
The windshield is bigger than the rear view there, Chief.
Chief.
Yo! What's up with the cards presser? Are they finally selling this team? Suck it, Doug. That's from Lady Sonia's Teacup. We'll talk about that next. Keith Tkachuk at 7:30. Jeremy Rutherford's coming in studio to talk about all this at 8:40. He's always presented to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. And you are welcome to participate in the program with questions for JR, for us, hell, insults for us. Everything is welcome. Come play in our reindeer games. 314-399-9646. That's how you can text in. You can call in at 314-974-0101. Callier and Thompson phone lines, and talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, youtube.com/TMASTL. And, of course, email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air online at designairservice.com. That's Seth Goldcamp and his team. And I worked with Seth Goldcamp and his team yesterday, Doug. I got a chance to talk it over with Joe. And Joe did a thorough job for me. Man, are they good at Design Air Heating and Cooling. DesignAirService.com. There's just nothing better than the customer service you get from Design Air Heating and Cooling, because when it's hot, and look at the forecast in St. Louis, brother, over the next few days, the next week, we're going mid-90s. That air conditioning goes out. You got a problem. You know Design Air is going to be out there quick, fast, in a hurry to fix it. They're not going to upsell you. They take care of it. They move on. They earn your business with that level of confidence. Design Air Heating and Cooling. Martin's a client. Doug's a client. I'm a client. And I worked with him yesterday and did incredible work. Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. The program's called TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. on 101 ESPN. Welcome back. It is the morning after 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the program. Little Jackie Papers is on the ones and twos. We broadcast from the Stifel studios here in the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour. Keith Tkachuk's going to join us in about 5 minutes on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. And then we will have Jeremy Rutherford in studio following the Kyrou trade and on the verge of the draft and what the Blues will be doing with these now 4 first-round picks heading into the 2026 NHL draft. Now, the thing is, Doug, there's a lot going on. So before we talk it over with Walter, let's talk about this presser the Cardinals are having. Derek Gould details it in the Post-Dispatch this morning that the expectation is this is going to be an announcement at 1 o'clock at Busch Stadium in which there will be a transfer of power, not an announcement of a sale, but a transfer of power from Chairman Bill DeWitt Jr. to his son, Bill DeWitt III. And Bill DeWitt Jr. Hinted at this at the winter warm-up. He has been the chairman since 1996, and he talked about how he is at a point in his life where he knows he will not be around forever, and inevitably they are going to have to start preparing for a transition. And he says that we're going to be in the third generation, and he thinks there is a chance they will be in the fourth generation of being involved in the game of baseball. Martin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's pretty transparent, even when they made the announcement, organizational leadership, and then they announced that Chaim Bloom and Anouk Rodney are all going to be there. I think the obvious is that Bill III, a lot of this is titles too, but, leadership. Bill DeWitt Jr. has been in charge for 30 years, but he's mid-80s, I would say, 84, 85. So Bill III would likely take the chairman title, and then Anouk would be, this is my guess, I don't know this, would take on a larger role even and be more like team president, which is the role that B3 currently has. I'm not sure if Chaim gets a new title out of this, but...
Because they are all going to be at
Yeah, because that was part of the announcement, that they would all be there. Anybody who said, they're selling the team, I thought, oh, come on, pay attention. You're not going to make an announcement like that. There would be... Cardinals have a press conference at noon today. They would tell you nothing more. Oh, by the way, we're selling the team.
Right.
So I don't think it's groundbreaking. It's fairly obvious. And probably a necessary next step, I guess, even at the MLB owners level. That means maybe instead of the dad, all of a sudden Bill III starts representing the team. And, again, some of it's titles, but I think I'm guessing what Bill Jr. will say today is he feels good right now handing it over to Chaim, Anouk, and his son in terms of where they are. It's certainly a message that'll play a lot better with the season they're having. Because if you say, we're in a great spot and the team's 15 games under, nobody's all that excited. So I don't think it's groundbreaking. It's just a little bit of logistics, Doug.
Yeah. I think no matter how you look at it, you have to say it's been a highly successful run that Bill DeWitt Jr. has had as owner. I know they've had a couple of rough seasons here lately, but big picture, the team has just grown in every way imaginable since he took over. I wonder, I don't know for sure, maybe Mark Milton would know, if you hand the team down to a son before your death, if that helps with estate taxes on an entity that's worth a couple $1 billion, that could have something to do with it. Do it now. He's going to be 85 in August. So the time seems perfect at the moment to do it.
And there is a grandson who is in the scouting department. So there has been family involvement for a while. I'm sure as soon as they transfer everybody, they're going to sell, Doug. They're going to sell. They've said that for 30 years. Yeah. So when they do sell the team, somebody can say, I knew it. I always knew it.
No. Let's get to the important stuff on this. This means Navy Caps on the Road is dead since B3 is the lover of the Red Caps on the road. Damn, that's from Caller Ellen.
That's what she's taking out of this.
You know what? I like that take.
Do you? Well, I guess we could ask about it today if you're going to go. You think they have their feelings hurt if the first question was, how about those Navy Caps on the road?
Good afternoon, Deus. Tim McKernan, local pervert, 101 ESPN. With this transfer of power, how does this impact the return of Navy Caps on the road? And congratulations on new titles, guys.
Nice question. And a polite media chuckle. Then they could chuckle at the question, too, and kind of talk around it and move on to someone else.
It'd be better if you just sent a plant, just some kid off the street and he's in the back. Hey, how are you, sir? Nice to be here. Yeah, I'm with the Gazette Leader Times.
There's the plant.
Okay.
That is accurate. You know what? I think we have found our plant, Doug. You're right. Cal May will represent the Navy Caps on the Road contingent And he can say, would you say this means Navy caps on the road heretofore?
Yeah, that's usually why they have the nets up there, so there can be no doubt about it.
Navy caps go with every outfit. That's from Ben Griffey.
Okay.
I don't know if it was in our text inbox or somewhere else where I read somebody would like to see them wear the Navy caps that they used to wear on the road when the team was winning world championships, and then they switched away from it because of the success and put those with the, Doug, would you call them cream-colored home jerseys on Saturday?
Well,
Papers is shaking his hand. This is a guy who loves what the Diamondbacks are wearing in downtown St. Louis.
No, never. Ugh.
God, those are awful uniforms.
They don't have a single good set, but I don't
What
think
is their color?
I don't know,
It
Martin.
used to be purple.
It's like
now
this,
it's
like-
kind of burgundy, but then
Yeah.
once
There's
in a while
always
they-
been some green.
Yeah, there's always been a little
it's
green.
kind of tealish green.
It's just short of maroon, a little north of Cardinal red.
almost orangey.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Any of their colors go together.
But I don't think the Navy and the Saturday home uniforms would look very good together.
Guess you hated the Stan Musial era.
Love the Stan Musial era, but I think the Saturday uniforms, both the powder blue and the home ones, they're doing real well on. That's not the concern. The Sunday uniform, not the concern. The home whites with
It's the
red
road
cap.
grays with the
it's
red
road
hat.
gray. Let's not do anything crazy here. It's a
Just
simple
bring back
fix.
the Navy cap. That's
Yeah.
all you're asking for.
Then you have the best uniform.
You gonna
in
go down there and
baseball.
hold them
you have
accountable?
You have the best uniform set in baseball.
How
if
about
you got
that?
Navy road
How about
caps.
that, Doug? Best uniform in baseball.
Really?
Yeah, best uniform set.
I
Every
think
uniform
papers
there.
might be right on this.
Yeah. I don't know who'd be better.
Yankees would be the only. Yankees or Dodgers, I think, are the only one who would have an argument.
Yeah.
you like the classics.
Doug,
Yeah.
as you know, this audience is well heeled. Kind of old money, kind of an old money audience.
Yeah, most of it.
And also Randy, and that's why the show's foundation has been Stock Tips and Swingers Bulletin Board. And Paul from the wealthy part of West County texting in, who gave us a stock tip many years ago that has led to our fabulous wealth, said, I heard Doug's question regarding the estate taxes and the Cardinals. There will be a huge estate tax issue unless they've already hired a bunch of brilliant attorneys who can, in fact, prepare for the state tax issue. That's from Paul from the wealthy part of West County, Doug, analyzing the numbers.
Oh, I'm sure it's a big issue. If you own something that's what's a team worth now? $3-4 billion maybe? To just hand that down to a family member, there are major tax consequences, I'm sure.
Sharon in Clayton disagrees. Hubs says estate planning is not impacted by this. Chairman, not a chairman, etc. Can't hide the money. Makes no difference. Sharon in Clayton. That's according to Hubs.
So what makes no difference?
Chairman, not a chairman, etc. Can't hide the money. Makes no difference.
A chairman can't hide the money. Can't hide the value of the franchise.
She says they're worth too much money. This has no impact on taxes. Can't hide the money.
Yeah. But if he doesn't own it anymore, if he just gives it to his son, I don't know.
Tim, Mike Caruso, who has a nebulous title with the Blues.
Generous executive with the Blues and is running away from a rematch with me. When are we going to play again, Caruso?
Just texted and said, don't keep Walt long. He's got scout meetings and nobody's listening. From Mike Caruso.
God darn it.
This guy's a problem. Joining us right now, despite Mike Caruso's asinine texts, can't respond to my text about a rematch, is Hockey Hall of Famer and friend of the show, Keith Tkachuk on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Morning, Walter.
Hi, fellas. How you doing?
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations indeed.
You're the first media I'm doing with where you actually introduced me as a Hall of Famer.
How about that? How about that? We're first.
Is there a Dirtbag Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I wonder about that.
Hey, what was Mike Caruso's title?
Generous executive running from a rematch in a golf game. That's the official title. This guy's a problem, Doug. He's a burr in my saddle.
I can tell that he is.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Generous executive.
I also have on his letterhead, not clear what he really does, guy.
That makes my day right there.
Walter, tell me how it all played out when you found out. I want to know the setting, the background, the whole thing, how many Bud selects. That's what I need to know, all this stuff.
Well, you know what? It was quite the busy weekend. So we, Father's Day, we were just hanging around the next day. Obviously, we're just had a bunch of the grandkids over, Brady and his family, my parents, everybody. Well, my parents just left, so we're just hanging around, and then I actually missed 2 calls from my Toronto number, and finally said I should probably pay attention to that, and I got it, went outside, and nobody knew what was going on, came back in, didn't tell anybody for 45 minutes, and I told my brother and my cousin's fiance and Brady, I go, hey, grab a beer. Congratulations, guys. I just want to let you know that I'm going to the Hall of Fame.
How about that?
And my brother and then Chantel overheard it. I was going to make them wait till the announcement happened, but I think that would have been too cruel.
How had you handled it? I know we talked about it, but was there disappointment in recent years when you knew that day was coming?
No, I don't get disappointed. You know, whether you get in the first time or whatever time I finally got in, it doesn't matter. I'm just honored. I'm grateful. And it was a great day. It was a great weekend, and, you know, we celebrated a lot of things as a family. And to top it off with this, I just only wish my parents stayed in town. They had a lead Monday, but my mom was so excited. She couldn't get a word in. She was crying so much.
Would
So,
you?
you know, basically it meant a lot. It means a lot to me, obviously, but it's the people around you who have sacrificed their whole lives for you to play the game and play sports in general, and to have this, you know, it just tipped it off with my mom's reaction.
Would you say the best years of your career were in St. Louis? And please say yes.
Well, I am a St. Louis Blue. I mean, yeah. I love this place. I love the team. I love the organization. And, you know, I'm grateful for all the organizations that I played in, for the start in Winnipeg, obviously in Arizona, and a small bit in Atlanta. But, you know, this is where your kids grew up. This is where, you know, this is where our life is. So this is my favorite spot. No, not even close.
And then November 9th will be induction. I can only hope the Florida Panthers are off that evening, but a family affair, mom, the whole gang. This is going to be, the Tkachuks have had a lot of parties lately. I imagine this one's going to be right up there.
Yeah, Chantal's excited to plan this one. So, I mean, I'm praying that the boys are playing that November 7th game against the Maple Leafs, but very, very doubtful. But we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a great weekend, and cannot wait.
Now, the Tkachuks are on an incredible roll here between the Hall of Fame and Olympic gold medals and two sons, all-star players. You got to pinch yourself at some point and wonder how this all could be going so well.
Well, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. You know, we're just enjoying the ride. You know, I love watching my kids play hockey. I love, you know, seeing them have success, and that Olympic gold was really special. For them to be representing their country and to do it together on the same team. And not only that, you have 2 sets of brothers on the team. So it's just a lot of these, it's been fun. And obviously Matthew winning the Stanley Cup 2 times. You know, I needed a rest this summer for sure.
Well, and from a logistics standpoint, now to have both sons on the same team, but just in terms of the excitement, seeing those 2 together, it's one thing to have your boys in the league, but to be teammates, and I'm sure there's been a lot that played out before this all came together, but how exciting is that for the family?
It is. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to see, you know, Matthew's daughter and Brady's daughter, who are born probably 10 days apart, be able to grow up together, and, you know, be around each other. And I think it was the Olympics for both the boys, too, being roommates and being together on the same team for that long. And now be able to do it, at least, you know, Brady's under contract for 2 years, so we'll see what happens. But they have a chance to win together. Florida looks like they have a pretty good team. And to be able to spend every day together and do it together as brothers, you can't ask for more than that.
And I know you're in an awkward spot. You work for the team. Brady, obviously, coveted by Blues fans. Matthew was coveted by Blues fans. Had that been awkward at all for you, your family? Because I think there was an assumption, they'll just come here and play for the Blues at one point. And again, I know you don't really want to dig in on this, but how has that been for the family?
Well, selfishly, that would have been nice, you know, because I wanted to be able to see my grandkids. And, you know, I love the Blues, but as usual, when something like this happens, Dad is out of the loop, and they do that on purpose with their agent. And if they ever ask me for advice, I give it to them. But they're big boys. One's 27, one's 20. No, Matthew's 28, and Brady's 26. They're big boys. They've been in the league forever. They can handle this stuff on their own. And, that's the choice Brady made, and we got to live with it.
And with all this going on with your family, that you're also juggling an important time with the Blues, with the draft coming up. How have you managed to get ready for that with everything else that's going on?
This is the most fun time of the year for me, working for the team, and this is our Stanley Cup as scouts, and we look forward to this. And obviously, there was some big news yesterday with a trade being made and added another first-round pick. It's fun working with Doug and Steiner and the guys. Anything can happen, but when you have 4 first-round picks, this is our Stanley Cup as scouts.
And I feel like you were in Sarnia watching Kyrou. How would you kind of look back on his career?
In Sarnia, you got a great memory there.
Nice job, man.
Thanks. When you're sitting on the bench, you get to observe a lot of things. No, but I remember you talking about him from the early days. He scored a lot of goals. He became the focus of fan frustration in the end. And how would you kind of categorize his time here?
Well, he's a great player. I mean, the combination of the way the game's going with speed and talent, he's right up there. You got to wish him the best. He was a good Blue for us, but I've been traded. Everybody's been traded. It just happens. It's a business, and decisions are made, and you got to live with them and move on, and that's the way it goes in sports. That's the unfortunate part where players are traded. I mean, that's just part of the nature of it.
Walter, what do you think about, if you know, what you can say about the players the Blues have received in return, in addition to the 16th overall pick from the Capitol?
Well, I don't know much about him. I did scout the Gastrin. He's a pretty good player. He's a Swedish kid who's a centerman, and obviously you got a first-round pick for him, and you got a player that's played in London who was actually traded for Robbie Thomas at one point in junior, which is hilarious. But, I'm looking forward to seeing this kid play. Obviously, he plays out in the East where, that's not my area. But I'm looking forward to it, and, can't wait to keep building this team.
I think we've had people say, why does Walt do this? He's had a great career, he's got money, he can travel, and I said, I think at heart, you just love being around the game.
Yeah, I love being around the guys. I love being in these meetings. I love, I need something to do, and I love the St. Louis Blues. I don't know what else to say. I need to stay busy, and I love doing this. This is what I love to do, and I love working with Doug and Steiner and the guys and trying to build a championship team.
When you've said it now a couple of times that you're a St. Louis and St. Louis Blues, love the Blues. It's one of the reasons why you do it. When you were traded here in 2001, I'm sure you, of course, had played here with other teams, but what did you know about St. Louis? And now with 25 years removed from that, does it surprise you that, a quarter century later, you identify not only as a St. Louis Blue, but as a St. Louisan who loves the area?
Well, it is, you don't know much about it when you're playing on a visiting team because you're downtown a lot, and you hear all the stories about some of the guys staying here. And they were right. I love living here. The people are great. Our fan base is great. It's a great place to raise a family. And this is where our kids grew up, and this is where all our friends are. We spent some time in Florida, but it was so nice coming back here and being back with family and friends and just enjoying ourselves and seeing our kids interact with their friends. And I wouldn't want to change that for the world. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, getting traded to St. Louis.
Any chance it'll open an Obie Clark's in South Beach?
Good question.
No. There's only one Obie Clark's, baby. And we celebrated there on Monday.
Oh, strong.
Oh, these guys.
Doug, get the dirty wings and wash it down with some fries.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Caruso says that's enough. They're switching to Camo X. Wow.
No.
This Caruso, I'm telling you, he's a burr in my saddle.
Well, clearly he doesn't have enough to do. That's the issue there.
Thank you. That's exactly right.
You guys are going to get me yelled at by the generous executive of the year.
Generous executive of the year.
Who are you more afraid of, Army or Caruso? Break it down.
I don't know.
Chantel?
Caruso knows where all the dead bodies are.
Yeah.
I got to say, I think that's true.
Yeah, I think you might have been more accurate right there on that, Walter.
The curse of Keenan, he's gone. Caruso's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Big Walt, congrats again on the Hockey Hall of Fame and for honoring Dirtbag with...
the Dirtbag Hall of Fame announcement.
Yeah,
that's going to be huge for me. I got a big speech prepared.
We're going to open that.
Yeah.
Maybe Stern is like emeritus. You know.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot, hey?
There he is.
there it
Keith
is.
Tkachuk
Okay.
with us here with his signature sign-off. Walter now a Hall of Famer. Super happy for Keith Tkachuk.
Yeah, and for the record, he did text and said, I want to dig in on Brady not coming to the Blues. I get it. That's the most interesting topic for a lot of fans. But I thought it was interesting how he said, I had to stay out of it because he works for the team. And said selfishly he would have loved to have had his grandkids and his son playing for the Blues. But I would love to dig in on that topic. I get it. He works for the Blues and Doug Armstrong, so it could be a little bit awkward. But always been a friend of the show, going back to the early days. In fact,
Yeah.
I think his mom called in unsolicited, right, to defend him because he was getting crapped on for rooting for the Sox.
For wearing the Red Sox hat at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, and
that
then she
always
called
struck
in
me
with
as
her-
as an odd thing. And 22 years later, sometimes my opinions, certainly my behavior, has changed over the course of the program. I still think that was asinine. Thank you, and God bless you in these United States of America.
And if you just wait long enough, like we have with Big Walt, he's given up on the Sox, so don't worry about it.
Well,
Is there any family in sports on a bigger role than the Tkachuks, though, for what they've accomplished here over the last few years? I mean, the Mannings had their day, but man,
gold medal, 2 cups, dad goes into the hall.
yeah,
It's a good question, Doug.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask AI?
yeah, I'll do that in the next break.
Wow.
It's really been pretty incredible, the run that they're on, and much deserved. I assume that he'll mention the show during his Hall of Fame speech.
it would be weird if he didn't,
Yeah, I think so.
just because of the importance of this show.
yeah.
McGravy. What's his name?
McGravy.
McGravy.
I actually think that might be one of the
Nicknames.
Yeah.
McGreevy did work TMA into his interview with Frank Cusimano, so there's kind of a trend here. We're trending up. See
If
if Big
McGravy
Walt's-
is to put on, be here for a long time and then put on weight towards the end of his career, will you start calling him
McGravy.
McGravy?
He gets a little hefty. Call him McGravy. And I believe Big Walt knew that Larry Plow had been on this show back in the day, and Larry Plow did not want to do hijinks.
Correct.
So if we started to kind of ask weird questions, I could go, oh, okay, guys, okay, talk some hockey.
Talk hockey now.
Talk hockey, eh? Larry Plow would say, talk hockey, eh? And Tkachuk loved that.
Yes, he would be listening, and then we would end the interview with Larry Plow, and he goes, okay, thanks a lot, eh?
Larry Plow was a great guy, though. He really was. He was the guy who sent all the media people a thank you letter after he retired. Did you get one of those? I got one of those.
I don't
from
think I
Larry
got
Plow.
one.
No.
I got one.
Okay.
I'm
I
more of
thought
on
everybody
the
had one.
periphery of the media, just kind of a pornographer who happens to have a good memory on sports.
There's a title.
Ryan and Breezy Point. What's up, Ryan?
I think Francesa got a letter from Larry Plow.
I bet Francesa has gotten letters from players before.
I bet he has, too. Tiki Barber being one of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, he sent a message to Tiki.
What about the Kelseys, Doug? That's from the old bastard in Belleville.
Yeah, that'd be a good comp, I guess.
Jalen and his father, Rick Brunson, just won the NBA title.
Okay, maybe not.
What happened to his father?
Rick is an assistant coach.
Okay, he's involved.
I'm not
but
saying
he's
that
not
he's-
having that I'm in
Right.
the Hall of Fame now. Or,
Right. Well,
he's
you're
won a gold
mentioning
medal.
there's obviously no one who's had a hotter run than the Tkachuks.
don't
You're saying
think there
father's
is.
son.
I'm just saying, just
There are
mentioning,
others.
just trying to further the conversation.
Okay. Well, it did further the conversation, but not that much.
Kelsey's is a good comp.
Martin, you're taking it from Doug's fat friend in the Air Comfort Service text inbox. Have you seen this?
Have not.
Okay.
Doug, who's your fat friend?
I don't think I have any friends that are obese, really.
Well,
I know picking on Doug is the theme of this show. I didn't know that. Doug, did you know that?
It's fine.
I know picking on Doug is the theme of this show, but Martin absolutely dropped the ball this morning on Fox 2. Martin, St. Louis fans already know about Kyrou and what he's done. You drop zero knowledge about the return we got. That's from Doug's fat friend. Why did you do that?
I don't know what.
Matter of fact.
Oh, what's gonna happen here? Oh, it's a time passages. Al Stewart. That's text of the day. Papers gives it.
Oh, that's a text of the day.
If someone can hold you accountable from the night before,
And I have
on the
no. I'm
sportscast,
trying to think what
I'm
would.
in.
I want to know what would have possibly played.
Well, did you do
on
a
the two Fox.
Did you do a sportscast? Yeah.
Well, I did last night, but I don't know always what's repurposed.
Right. Thank you.
In the morning. Now, the commentary, the TKO, was about Kyrou and how it was time for him to go. And I said, now we need somebody new to pick on. But I guess I didn't break down the return.
Would you like to apologize now? This is your
Okay,
chance.
Doug's fat friend, I'm sorry. This Connor McMichael, I like the fact that we got a first-round pick and a former first-round draft pick in Connor McMichael. That's a hockey trade when you get a player who's NHL ready. Strick calls that a hockey trade. And then we also got the young centerman. We're a little light in the center position. Yeah. I like the fact we swiped a kid who was a second-round pick just last year. I love the return. Thank you, fat friend.
That text had to come from Cottleville. That's from Doug's prison wallet. I believe he's part of Webster Groves. Of course, Webster Groves at war with Cottleville.
Do they skew heavy in Cottleville?
Doug, you got to have at least one fat friend.
I'm trying to
I'm not
think.
saying obese, but, you know.
Well, most of them could lose 10 pounds, but
Is
we're
Doug's
talking about
fat
really
friend
fat.
Martin. That's from Eric in the Central West End. That's fair.
I guess I do have one. I guess I do.
Oh,
have
thanks.
One. Yeah, now that I think.
You want to call him out?
No, I'm not going to call him out.
Tim,
No.
hate the return from Free Kyrou.
Free Kyrou, very active.
You think that's Jordan Kyrou texting in?
I'd be surprised by that one, but Harrison's brother Master has made his announcement. Now, he said he was calling in when he got traded. Is he a man of his word, Doug? Is he a man of honor?
We'll find out.
314-974-0101. What a treat it would be to hear from Harrison's brother Master, who I believe has solely been texting into the show for a number of years, but he was texting in and in response to Sharon and Clayton saying that they're going to go celebrate. He says, I'll be over, Sharon. I'm headed to Captiva tomorrow. First 5 rounds on me for all Blues fans at the Mucky Duck. Now, you ever been to the Mucky Duck?
No, I haven't. He's buying 5 rounds.
Yeah. This Harrison's brother Master's
He has
flush.
been active on the text line over the last 24 hours, but
Yeah.
going back to yesterday at about 8:56, he said, when Kyrou is traded, I will call in and
That's right.
explain why.
Like we don't know why.
Well, I don't know if there was more to the why.
I think we have a pretty good idea.
To his credit, to Harrison's brother Master's credit, 7:09 on Tuesday, he said, good morning. I feel like today is the day Jordan Kyrou is traded.
Wow.
How about that?
This guy's an insider.
So the phone lines are open. Kurt is ready.
There are some true losers who listen to this show.
Yeah.
Who watches local news enough to complain about it? That's from Beer Cats Doug. You know him from the Hot Wife Autumn.
I look at the fat friend of Doug's. Great compliment. He's upset with us, Tim.
Yep.
But he's tuning in. Thank you.
Don't you think working for the Two Fox is more prestigious than getting a PhD?
Chuck sounds hungover there a little bit. I think.
I tried calling in. The production staff didn't answer per usual. I will call in. I'm at work. It's been a phenomenal day thus far. That's from Harrison's brother Master. Chairman Kurt, and Chairman Kurt gave the universal sign for I'm pleasuring myself.
Oh.
Chairman, what would you like to say to Harrison's brother Master, because since you gave that fist gesture?
I think your words just said it all.
Oh, how about that?
What do you want, Bucko? You want some?
Can I ask a serious question of the dais?
I'm taking him. Doug won't.
Have you guys met Harrison's brother Master?
I believe there is a chance I may have.
Okay.
I don't believe
Call
I
in,
have.
fella.
He Venmoed me once.
Oh, that's right.
What do you Emily for, Bray?
Iggy, like, cutting out the names for the Mug and Ass Fantasy Challenge. He was like, make Iggy do it and I'll pay you money. I was like, oh, sounds great.
No problem.
Yeah. I do nothing and get paid.
How much did he send you?
Flip that off.
I think like $50. Maybe
Not
more.
bad.
It's-
That's
$50?
That's good
Hey,
return.
that's awesome.
Harrison's brother Master is flush.
I said I'd do it every week. I told Iggy I'd give him a cut.
I would
No
think
pun
so.
intended.
The Duck would be a great place to party, but I'm in the STL now, Master. Enjoy the brews and conch fritters at the Duck. That's from Sharon and Clayton.
Gosh,
It's refreshing to see rich white women.
I wonder what the context of that was.
I don't know, but it was refreshing.
It was refreshing.
The way, the phrasing of it, that's refreshing.
There's a little bit of a...
Not nice, not wonderful, but refreshing.
And
It's
clearly
just
that's what he was
so
looking for.
overlooked category of people.
Will Jackson be at the AB Beer Garden again tomorrow night? Papers, you were there for the Australia game, or are you going back for the dead rubber?
No, the dead rubber just really takes the wind out of our
Don't
sails.
say dead
no?
rubber.
That's what it is. It's dead rubber.
It's a late game that has
9 o'clock St. Louis time, baby.
has zero impact for either teams. I don't even know if I'll watch.
So after 2 games of the World Cup, they're already playing meaningless games.
Well,
I don't like that.
This has happened. It's bad that it's set up in a way where this could happen, but it's still
It's a good problem to have.
right. It's good. The U.S. is through. They won the group. Like that's a good thing. So you'd rather this. Well, I don't know. Would you rather this, a dead rubber, or have to sweat out a 9 p.m. game against Turkey?
I'll take this.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather the games matter.
They will matter. And
What's the point of even playing it? If it doesn't matter.
well, for a lot of these guys, this is an opportunity they might never get again. So I get that playing it, and people spend a ton of money. But
And what if somebody flashes and all of a sudden they help them
Right.
out when they got to go against
Right,
it? Doug, is it
right.
going to be Bosnia? I mean, it could be Japan. It could be
Right.
Senegal. I mean,
Right.
you got a bunch of different
we
options
want
out
to keep
there.
the guys informed.
Here
You
we
wanna do
go.
that, but at the same time, yeah, you're going to be resting
It's
a
a
lot of
friendly.
guys. More or less, yeah. But it's a friendly on the biggest stage.
The Mucky Duck is great. Let's all move to Florida. That's from Fat Bob.
I missed where he said what part of Florida the Mucky Duck is in.
Mucky Duck
that
is
Sanibel?
Captiva.
Captiva.
We can go down there and do some fishing, Doug.
Yeah.
Why are these soccer losers calling it Turkey Yay? That's from Eric in the Central West
Yeah,
End.
I don't
That's how
like
the
it.
country requested to be called.
Well,
Oh, is that right? The country actually
So what?
issued a statement?
They've changed their name, like they've officially.
Turkey, yay. I'm
Turkey.
not doing it. It's
You
been
can do
turkey
it.
forever. It shall be turkey in my lexicon.
You can do whatever you want.
Sounds like a fan cheer. Turkey, yay!
Yeah, isn't it?
Kind of a Rams rule.
Sure.
Adjacent.
Sure.
This Mucky Duck looks pretty fun.
Tim, do not let this slide. Jackson still owes me $20 from losing his Uber rating bet. Some Steven time. Pay up.
Okay, send in your Venmo.
Yeah,
I
pay
thought
up.
I did, or if I did, I don't remember. That was probably HD2 days when I made that play.
And now you're all grown up.
Yeah, but I want to honor my bets,
Yeah.
much like a Lannister.
Yeah, always pays his debts, Doug. You can talk it over in that Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Tanner Skidmarks is talking to DJ Patty Cakes, and Bud Norris has really become a presence in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. 300 friends on the nose are in there talking it over. 6,990 have now subscribed. Doug, you are moments away from the gold bullion presentation.
I may be able to retire.
This is it. This is it. I know you wanted to do the show for another 25 years.
I don't. No.
But this could be it when the gold bullion is rolled in. Subscribe to the TMA STL YouTube channel and get Doug his gold bullion. We're at 6,990 subscribers on the TMA STL YouTube channel. We'll take a break, come back with our 8 o'clock hour, which is brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store. The 7 o'clock hour brought to you by Healthcare Evolution. That's my guy, Logan Taylor, over at Healthcare Evolution. And if you're watching on YouTube and you say, how did Jackson get all that her? The answer is Healthcare Evolution. Hey, Papers, tell them what's going on with that.
Sure. It's a treatment plan that they do over at Healthcare Evolution. Takes about 15 minutes for the first one. Roll some of these peptides into your head, right into your scalp. And then it took me about 2 months, and I was seeing some serious results. Got a second treatment, which took like 5 minutes, and now we're seeing significant health. What it's doing is it's helping, it's strengthening the scalp. That's what it's doing. Essentially, these peptides are used for injuries. So in order to strengthen what is essentially an injury, hair loss is kind of like an injury to the scalp. So it strengthens the scalp. So not only heals the scalp, but then strengthens it going forward. So your hair not only comes in fuller, but thicker. And I'm seeing great results. It takes a combined 25 minutes, and you can do it right here in St. Louis. You don't have to travel to Turkey, as Doug
Stop
does.
it.
You don't have to spend a king's ransom. You don't have to spend a king's ransom at other hair restoration places. You can do it in town for affordable price right here with our friends over at Healthcare Evolution.
Yeah, that's right. Healthcare Evolution offering free consultations over the phone. And if you want in-person consultation, they're offering 70% off to TMA listeners. Go to healthcare-evolution.com. That's healthcare-evolution.com. You're welcome to call in the Callier and Thompson phone lines, just like Keith Tkachuk did in the segment, 314-974-0101. Jeremy Rutherford's going to be in studio on this Cairo trade and on the verge of the 2026 NHL draft. That's coming up at 8:40 on the Polos Plus dossier, so you can text in your two-part questions for JR. Air Comfort Service, text inbox 314-399-9646. And, of course, you can open up your YouTube chat, type in TMA STL, subscribe to the channel, and once we get to 7,000 subscribers, Doug gets gold bullion. So that is going to be a moment when you have gold bullion rolled into the Stifel studios.
Okay. I just can't wait.
It's about to happen for you. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.
I love talking about the Village Bar. What a great spot for lunch, happy hour, hanging with friends, family. If you haven't been, check it out. You've heard us talk about it for years. Great cheeseburger, best in town, reasonably priced meal. Get the wings, some waffle fries, a little salad. Sit out back, sit out front. You can be outside, inside. And while you're there, sample the products of 1879 Distilling. They're making those in the barn out back. Started doing this a few years ago, and it's a hit, winning regional awards for top spirits, whether it's the rye and bourbon, and now summertime, people sampling the Red Barn vodka, so many different flavors you can use at your patio party, a little outdoor get-together. Excuse me, sample Red Barn vodka. All the products listed at 1879distilling.com. That barn is also available for private events. It's really a cool space. We've got the tasting room open on the weekends. That's part of the whole layout there at Village Bar. It's a general store. They've got merchandise in there. You can purchase the products, whether it's the Havana Dark Rum or Red Barn Vodka. Purchase it at the general store, which is right there, the blue building, connected to Village Bar. All things Village Bar at 1879distilling.com. Check out all the great products.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update, and that's brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. The Cardinals lose to the Diamondbacks last evening, back in action against the D-backs tonight. That's going to be a 6:45 p.m. first pitch with Matthew Liberatore on the mound for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Yeah, you like the 8 o'clock hour?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's a fine hour.
What's your favorite hour?
Yeah, what is your favorite hour?
For the last one?
Wow, that's when Martin's not here.
Oh, no, I meant
Martin,
the one.
I thought it was your fat friend, and now all of a sudden.
No, it's the one that hangs like the sword of Damocles over my head.
The Ken Show?
It's almost time to go home.
Airing of complaints from 11 to 12.
Yesterday, Darren Atkins, you might know him as the Peoria Plowboy for longtime TMA listeners before we delighted the older community by moving over here in October of 2024. And he was on the presentation, but Doug, unfortunately, the phone lines didn't work, and poor Jackson. And poor Jackson.
On the phone lines.
Correct.
No, it's new technology.
But we did...
So you guys are...
firing all cylinders, Martin.
Yeah, well, we're trying. We did jerry-rig a method to get Plowhawk on the phone.
And it was Doug's idea. Jackson was dismissive of it at first.
Well, he did. I would say the explanation was a touch confusing, but we got there eventually.
Camel V's MacGyver over here. What'd you do?
Doug made the suggestion to call Plowhawk on my cell phone, then call the station, merge the calls, and then essentially Plowhawk was hearing our questions from my cell phone, because the issue was that we could hear him, he couldn't hear us. So he was hearing our questions from my cell phone and then answering them over the air.
Well, that's not too embarrassing.
It
sounded okay for the most part.
There was an echo, and so I would have to pot him down every time a question was asked. Yeah, so that became a little touch and go. But I would honestly say, given the circumstances, it went about as good as it could. And Doug gets the credit for that.
Oh, how about that? You got a game ball.
Yeah, you did get the game ball.
Well,
you and Arthur Atkins.
It's basically just a thing where, you've been on the phone when someone else calls you and you have the right to plug them into your call if you want. It's kind of just what we did.
Yeah, a little conference call, Martin.
Yeah.
Isn't it Doug schooling us on technology?
Because that's my forte.
Always happen. You're welcome to get involved on the program. Text and call and talk it over in that Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. YouTube.com/TMASTL. Joined by Keith Tkachuk in our Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour. And coming up here in the Fisher Window and Door Store 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have Jeremy Rutherford in taking two-part questions with regard to the trade of Jordan Kyrou and, of course, what he thinks the Blues will be doing here over the next 48 hours with the NHL draft now sitting with 4 first-round picks. Brady Tkachuk spoke in South Florida regarding his move from Ottawa. Here is the St. Louis native and now Florida Panther.
And secondly, you spoke highly of Ottawa in your intro. A couple months ago, right after the Eggs interviews, you mentioned how you wanted to be there, be with the city. The trade rumors were distraction, all that. What's changed between then and now?
Well, yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of different things that have happened throughout my time there, and for me, I think it was just time for the next chapter, and something that it wasn't an easy decision. It was something that I took a little bit more time than what's been out there to make that decision, and it was a very hard decision. And I think there's a lot more things that go into it, but for me now, it's very thankful for what they've done for me, and not just as a player, but molded me into the human that I am today and the person I am today, and that something I could carry into the future.
The Ottawa fans unhappy with him because he said he was happy there and the trade talk was just a distraction. So that is the root of that question for context.
Okay.
So he's got people upset in St. Louis, people upset in Ottawa. Wow. But you get to live in South Florida, play for the Panthers. No, I think the St. Louis part, probably not as much about the Ottawa thing. You'd like your legacy, I'm sure. You were the captain there. You'd probably like to leave on decent terms. I would think that the St. Louis fans that are upset probably bothers them a little bit more. Could be wrong.
Was the guy asking the question getting emotional? Thanks.
Yeah,
That's my TMA Reddit Insider.
I was trying to decide if I should say, I couldn't tell if maybe it was like an impediment.
Change between then and now.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where the voice cracked.
So you think he was possibly getting worked up?
Well,
I think he may have a special need of some kind.
wasn't sure. That's why I was afraid to say it. Leave it to the text line to call it out.
Steven time from the Brothers Time.
It's the only thing we got from the whole interview. Wow, he wasn't perfectly normal.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Never.
How about that?
Speaking of perfectly normal.
Good luck. Good.
This Mark's Bra and Mulch guy is really taking off. Had a flyer in the mail for $10 off any bra with a $50 mulch purchase. I do have to say I was a little confused when I see the slogan under the logo that says, "We have the meats." That's from Marsh's burner, Doug. Mark's Mulch and Bra. Not advertising here on TMA, but writing in and winning the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day here in the month of June, and therefore is getting his business mentioned free of charge. You have to wonder if that's going to be able to continue.
And the slogan for his Mulch and Bra business is, "We have."
Wouldn't Arby's do a cease and desist? Didn't they have the meats? Uh-oh, Doug's gone.
You can't steal.
I've never been to P.F. Chang's. They ain't good.
Oh, he just stole another business's slogan.
And wasn't he also the square beyond compare for a minute?
He was. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm Sally Weatherby, president of Broadcasters Without Boundaries.
What does we have the
Papers
meats
is
have
in
to
his
do with
bag.
mulch or bras?
Have the two ever been sold together before? And why didn't we think of that?
Again, another business opportunity
right in front of us. All right, here's what you do, Tim. You sell mulch, and then you sell bags. We did that man-woman thing, didn't work, but let's try this. Mulch and bras.
It's just so obvious when you think about it.
You can watch Doug have a laughing fit in the TMA STL YouTube
Oh, the
chat.
cameras are back.
Yeah, Papers fixed the cameras in this studio, the Stifel studios, and then the studios during After the Morning After. Papers fixed the phone lines. This guy brought Doug's ratchet set?
I didn't do a damn thing. I contacted those who can fix it, and they did.
How about that?
Thank you to them.
Okay.
Speaking of your guys, our guy, Jason Gosra, who I don't know as well as you guys do. He was out at my house. We got a broken spring. He was able to point that out within 2 seconds. I said, "Oh, that thing right there that clearly is broken in half." Because, yeah, that's the issue right there.
Those
Got out-
garage
he
door
was out-
springs, they're crazy looking.
Yeah.
Like if they were to uncoil and pop.
Scary.
Yeah, heads up. But Jason Gosser will take
And
good
they're
care
there
of
took care of that there,
We're getting it replaced right now.
He came out on Friday.
Sponsor of the podcast. Yeah, came out to the...
Yeah. He donated, came, showed some love. It's great to see him.
We're texting, and he said, "I'll be there shortly." He said, "I'm not dressed like a garage guy." I said, "It's okay. I am."
Was it Jason personally?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The boss was on site.
He came out to my parents' house when they had an issue at their garage door. Yeah, he's kind sword is what he is.
He sure is. He's been at my house, too.
And it's Schaefer with one F, Doug,
That's
is
one
that
F.
right?
Just one.
SchaeferDoor.com. Jason Gosrow. First-class operation. And Jason's a great guy. If you run into any issues with your doors or if you're looking for installation, it's Schaefer Door Company. Sponsor the podcast here on TMA and throughout the day on 101 ESPN. It is 8:14 in St. Louis. Jeremy Rutherford coming in studio and answering your two-part questions as the Blues trade Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals and now sit with 4 first-round picks. Doug, when the draft gets underway, how many first-round picks will the Blues have?
I'll say 2.
Wow.
I'll say they'll package 2 of them to move up.
Okay. Martin, how do you feel about Doug's number?
I'll say 3. So you're going to unload 1 to make a move. And then, I'll say they're hanging on to 3. Right now we're at 11. 15, 16, and 29.
Do you think there's any chance that 89 goes anywhere?
He'd be a hard guy to trade, I think.
I know. I don't know if you can package up some.
I mean, I think he's available if that's what you're asking. But I'm going to say no.
Because there isn't a market for said player.
And somebody's got to be the whipping boy. So,
yeah.
Next up.
So I want to make sure I follow. I like to check in with JR on this, and I know he's a loyal listener of the program, so he'll be able to correct me if I'm wrong. So let's say we go back a decade. Who was the whipping boy? Because there's a progression. Kyrou, most recent. Before him, Parayko, before his surge, I feel like was the guy that JR would catch the most.
Bouwmeester in play that 18-19 year for sure.
Yep. I feel like I'm missing one.
Well, usually it's a contract that didn't pan out or a prospect that we always heard about.
You think there's any chance they still trade Bennington?
Yeah, chance. There was that wave that, like, Berglund was a guy who people were always waiting to kind of be a star. I don't know if there's ever a whipping boy, though.
Yeah, Berglund's getting some votes in here.
Which, by the way, after they won the Cup, Strick on his show, Hockey Sense, he had Berglund on from Sweden, I believe, and was really emotional, like how much it hurt to not be part of it. And remember, he quit the game, went to Buffalo when they got traded, ended up walking away from a decent amount of money, too, and how it was really hurtful for him to see, I'm paraphrasing, but to see them win the Cup. But he would have been one, I think people were always kind of frustrated.
Jeremy Rutherford, listening to the program, says Zach Sanford.
Yeah, he took some, especially with being on the business end of the beatdown. Kind of became
Shrewsbury Seminary student has the business end of the beatdown that led to a Stanley Cup. Shrewsbury Seminary student Doug has an answer. He's on the Callier and Thompson.
Oh, is he? Okay. Hello, Shrewsy.
Oh, no,
you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. Are you?
Jackson, do we need to hold up a phone to a phone?
I was just listening, and I was sending an email, and I stopped. I forgot I was on hold. I thought I was listening on a stream, but hey, did you guys, the tarps off thing, when that happened, what was that, like a month ago, Doug?
More than that, I think.
Maybe.
Did you guys talk about that on the show? I was busy. I wasn't listening back then.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Right.
Jackson, is Jackson there?
Yeah, what up?
Could you send me the segments that you guys talked about there? Because I wanted to bring up a note about that, but I wanted to listen first.
Okay.
And kind of cross-reference if it got brought up.
Well, no, I think this is as good as opportunity as ever to bring up your point. And we talked about it so long ago. Who could remember?
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
So
please.
now we have to send him email attachments with portions of the show that he missed?
Well, if we didn't cover this during that, we won't have to. So
everybody call
yours.
in with a segment you missed. We'll get it clipped off and emailed directly to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was asking for exactly, Martin. Thank you.
For heaven's sake.
That was productive.
So my friend works at the Cardinals, and I don't want to name who it is, obviously, but he told me that after the tarps off thing, that there were old Cardinal fans calling in and saying, quote, it was homoerotic. And I felt like I had a legal obligation to call in and share that story to you guys.
Okay. No.
Oh, so fans.
I don't think we had discussed that angle yet.
No.
Right.
My stepdad and I used to paint each other's chest.
It is Pride Month.
Is there a new Morning After show? Is that what I heard, too? I've been away for a month. I've been very busy.
For heaven's sake.
I wouldn't say new, but we do a show from 11 to noon on 105.7 HD2 called After the Morning After, brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alden, Toyota.
You can watch it on YouTube anytime you want there, and it's Ken Iggy Strode's glorious return, coming back like Jordan, wearing the 4-5.
He's brought a lot of passion and energy. He seems excited to be here. Back on the team.
And what's the difference between that show and this show?
Doug?
Well, Martin's not on that show, and Iggy's not on this show. That show is less
sports.
On
that show. Less sports. Okay. I'll check it out. And it's on 105.2 and YouTube, or 105.7.
Yes, I feel like we're broadcasting solely to you.
I like it when you call me Big Papa.
I'm just catching up, baby.
Okay.
Right, and then lastly, is there anyone else, anyone who's listening, or any sponsors who can help me price a mini split? I've got a room in my house that's not getting cool. And if there's anybody out there, could they please reach out to Doug, and then Doug, I'll reach out to you if they reach out to you, okay?
Like you have an air conditioning issue? That'd be Design Air.
Should I call them?
Yeah,
Yes,
Seth
yes, you
Goldcamp.
should.
Post-haste.
What's his name?
Seth Goldcamp with Design Air.
All right.
We're broadcasting to one person here.
Okay. All right.
Design Air.
Okay, I got to jump on a meeting, guys. I got to go. Thank
Sorry
you.
to bother
Okay.
you. Oh,
How can you guys be involved in a show with less sports than this one? That's from Jamie's Sugar Baby.
That's actually a good question. I'm an expert, you bitch.
hey.
Less sports? Is that even possible? That's from George Clooney's doppelganger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely less sports.
But, Doug, do you see what they're doing?
Yeah.
Do you guys talk any sports in that 11 o'clock hour?
If Iggy had a roster in daily fantasy sports where a player missed a putt, then that's how golf could come up. Other than that, no.
Or maybe a former professional athlete that wronged him?
Who was the obscure former female golfer who you mentioned? Some Cheddar?
Chris Cheddar.
Chris Cheddar. We talked about her at length one day.
Because Iggy ranked her as the hottest woman on the LPGA and tried to book her to give her honor.
What a life, man.
That could be a fun little segment on Sports Final, Martin.
Yeah.
Caden Clark's come up a few times.
Kalen Clark has come up.
Yeah, he asked Brian Henshin, who many may know from TMA, as the Colts beat writer.
And our number one Asian intern?
That's correct, to get him an autographed ball from Caitlin Clark for his charity, the Megan Meyer Foundation, and the Gobble Bowl auction. And he is pissed at Henshin because Henshin has not gotten that far.
Yeah, hadn't come through.
I love Ken.
For charity.
I do love Ken, but I've become a little more cautious in saying, hey, guys, got to roll. I'm going to interview Big Walt today for TV, because then immediately, hey, is there any... Walt's probably got stuff laying around. Then, hey, I'm going to run over to Larry Hughes. I'm like, oh, maybe I don't need to mention those things.
Or when you mention a former D-list actress, Iggy will send her your phone. Send them your phone number.
He wanted me to break into the BK and Ferrario interview with Ollie to get him to sign a hat.
Yeah, that hat did get signed though.
It did get signed.
I think Well-Dressed Tony might have hooked that.
Yeah,
up.
thanks, Well-Dressed Tony. Let's see. Martin, I have important work tomorrow outside. Can you find out from the 2 Fox weatherman if it's going to rain tomorrow? Thanks. That's Salty Bald Dad from Casefield. Doug, we're just be giving like assignments from the audience.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Next one's going to be like, hey, Paverson, you grab my dry cleaning. We're just doing tasks for other people.
It's on the way.
I'm going to the ball game tonight with the boys. We switch.
Are you? I think I might be going
Well,
down
we
there.
were going to go tomorrow, and Holden, who's 9, said, Papa, it's going to rain tomorrow. I thought, I'll be damned. Let me check.
He said, "Papa."
Yeah, he said,
Papa.
he told me that it's going to rain tomorrow.
Empty bowl of soup.
So we flipped it. So we're going tonight because tomorrow, I believe, is going to be a rainy day.
Yeah, we got some rain in the forecast here the next few days.
You going tonight, Tim?
Possibly.
I'm going to have to make a move.
How about that? I think I might take the boys.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll text the fellas. Say, hey, boys.
Oatmeal, Herb,
Yeah, the whole crew.
Private Citizen Pete.
Might have a spot for you, Paper, if you want to go with me and the boys, but then this is awkward. It's like you and Jan Danson, like, oh, thanks.
No, I might recruit some friends, and maybe we could all meet up for a cold one.
You like that $5 Bud Zone? What's it called?
The Budweiser Terrace? Certainly the best deal in the ball yard.
It's going to rain tonight. That's from Jamie's Sugar Baby.
Is it going to rain tonight? I saw only a
there's a
slight
chance
chance
of
of
rain
rain.
all
I
day.
saw early or like late afternoon.
It's going to storm tomorrow. That's from the 618.
All right, well, we're talking about tonight, dog.
Martin, do your kids call you Papa?
Well, Holden is my grandson, so he calls me Papa.
Okay.
That's a good grandpa.
Yeah. And he loves going to the games.
Is that right? Does he play?
Plays a little baseball, yeah. Likes hitting the ball. He wants to go down. He said, can we meet the players? And I said, I'm not exactly tight with the players, but I thought it'd be funny, like if Ollie came over and just shook his head in disgust and then pointed at me and holding me like, what does that mean? It's like, well, he's the manager and he doesn't really respect me.
Guys, let's all meet up and take our shirts off. That's from Jamie's Sugar Baby.
I like where this is
heading.
heading.
I can't wait to see Doug. Wow.
Doug, are you going tonight?
I am not going to.
TMA outing.
Not going.
Wait,
tonight. Martin's
Martin's a gilf? That's from the TMA Reddit Insider.
How'd that feel?
I'm an old dad, but I'm a young grandpa.
Yeah.
How about that?
Handsome, too.
Oh,
Wow.
look at this guy.
Gosh,
Look at
it's
this.
getting homoerotic now.
Look at this.
I told Papers on
You guys
Friday.
going to talk to HR about this?
I told Papers Friday that he was looking sexy. He
did say that.
Doug, are you uncomfortable with this?
He was getting ready for his AB appearance. He did the show. He wore his sunglasses like Tom Cruise the whole show. He had capri pants
Rick
on.
was out drinking a daiquiri.
That's right. Tickets are a little pricey tonight. Oh, this is. I'm looking at Saturday's game. How silly of me. Hold on.
Yeah, when the Marlins come to town.
That was like $61.
Is that dynamic pricing?
Yeah, never mind. Much cheaper.
How much tonight?
You can get some damn good seats for about $16.
Really?
Is that right?
Yeah.
When you say damn good seats, what are you talking about? Huh?
Section 133.
Forget about it.
Hey, B3, since you're going to be elevated to chairman, why don't we celebrate a toast tonight and just buy everybody in the house a beer? Let's see. What do you say? We win over the fans tonight.
Section 160 for
and then
22.
make the Navy Caps announcement. Can I have a plant go down there?
Kinda surprised.
Papers, you can't get there by 1 o'clock, can you? You wouldn't do it anyway.
What about Ken?
The ball yard tomorrow?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Tim is saying the press conference at 1, could you go down and ask the Navy Cap question is what he was saying.
Hey, fellas, we've been talking on the radio show about having the boys wear Navy caps when they go on the road. Any development on that there, eh?
I like that. Kind of a Canadian representative.
Yeah.
I think the third can be swayed on this.
You got the connection.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just,
I assume you're going to the press conference.
I am actually not. Tim, this is Journalism 2026. There's a show that I'm hosting, a digital soccer show today that was already in place.
Oh, what a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So,
how long is the show?
My
Now, why do
colleague,
you sound exasperated? You're not even involved.
I'm excited about it. How long can you go?
it's a half-hour show.
Okay.
Talking some World Cup. I'm actually we've got Bill McDermott, we got Kevin Kalish.
Soccer. Can
talking about the World
forever.
Cup, talking about the U.S. men. Like, what's next? Doug, now that they've accomplished so much, let's not be satisfied.
Okay.
What is the potential? Have we moved the field goal post a little bit, you think? Now that they've advanced. So we're going to talk about it. That's on Fox 2 STL Plus. You can get that on your Roku channels and other places.
So it's not enough just to broadcast on Channel 2. You got to do other stations now as well.
It's additional content, Doug, that's made available.
Okay.
My colleague, Kevin Ryan's, I could ask Kevin if he'll ask the Navy Cap question. Fresh off a Knicks win, maybe he's riding high, and he'll just do it.
Who would be a good representative who actually be there for us?
I think Schaefer would probably do it. He doesn't mind taking a bullet.
Is that right? Really?
I
we
could see
need to
him
talk to
doing
B.
it.
Schaefer then. God, I feel passionate about this.
Maybe it's
and
not.
I don't know
Maybe
why.
it's not the day for it with other news and notes.
Oh, I think it's definitely the day for
You
it.
think it's the day for it?
Yeah.
Maybe right at the end of the thing, if you see it's about to break up.
Chairman Kurt's shaking. He thinks it needs to be the lead.
Well,
The lead.
I don't know that would work.
Jeez, soccer. Come on, goobers. Some dirty Chewbacca.
So the mere mention of soccer, it is kind of fun how it's on all day. You just look up on the old 2 Fox. Oh, Panama's playing. Oh, Ronaldo got a brace.
How about this, Doug? How about that England-Ghana game, guys? Pretty crazy. England just can't find a way to beat the low block defense of Ghana. Park the bus all day. Every day gets England. And now you're probably going to get a new result. I think that says more about Ghana than it does England. I think that Ghana was playing for a draw, but a lot of teams that's going to come across. The knockout rounds are not going to be playing like that because they're going to be trying to score actual goals. Doug, what do you think? That's from Barry Scrotum.
Oh, gosh. That's from who?
Barry Scrotum.
A Ghanaian witch doctor put a curse on Harry Kane.
Oh, did he really?
Got him the draw.
Okay.
And I told people to take the over, Tim. That was not a good play.
Tough spot. Martin, you could tell people to email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today and then tell them about Design Air, who came to my home yesterday.
Yeah, I had a service call last week, came out, and they said, we're in good shape. Maybe let's change that filter over there. Real simple stuff, but when you get a maintenance plan, they'll come into your home and make sure you're running year-round. It's really a smart thing to do, so there's no surprise in the middle of winter. It's cold out. You don't want the furnace stopping. You don't want it happening in the middle of the summer when it's hot out, so make sure you are ready. It's designairservice.com. That's the website where you get signed up for a maintenance program, and when you do it with Design Air, there's a company that's been around for more than a century, been sponsoring TMA longer than anybody out there, so they're loyal, and our listeners are loyal to them. It works both ways, and you get a great product. They are there to fix things, not to sell you something you don't need. That happens all too often in the HVAC world. That's why Seth Goldcamp works with his employees to make sure it's just not happening. Great team of people, every one of us. Every time we get somebody out to the house, you say, God, He was great. They're all great to work with. There is a difference. Make sure you find out by going to designerservice.com.
Ed Time's not happy with Barry Scrotum. Wow, love when you got guys like Barry Scrotum watch the beautiful sport once every 4 years and try to act like an expert.
Okay.
It's from Ed Time.
The beautiful game.
Maybe Barry Scrotum is a year-round soccer guy.
Lick my hoop.
Oh. Papers having an A-plus drops day.
Yeah, you're ratcheting it up right now, Papers.
Try my best.
Tell the boys, hey, Uncle Jackie might go with us. No, he doesn't want to go with us. Okay, that's fine.
For the record, the Ghanaian witch doctor, Doug, I don't know if you've worked with him before, it's Nana Kwaku Bansam, who claimed that Harry Kane would have a goalless night, says he has released him from the curse now. After England drew with Ghana. Quote, I am now going to release Harry Kane so that he can score in the next match for England. That is from Nana Kwaku Bansam.
Oh.
Nice.
And you think people are stupid enough to fall for this kind of nonsense?
Can't rule it out.
You can rule it out. It's utter nonsense.
It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Think about
That's not true either.
I'm still obsessed with
It's weird. It's stupid.
The Congo fan who stands like a statue the entire game. I was reading about him yesterday. That the players petitioned that the Congo Soccer Federation pay for him to travel.
Hell yeah.
They want him at every game.
He's earned it.
It's unbelievable. Stands like a statue, Doug.
A witch doctor on their side.
No, different. So the Ghana was the witch doctor. Congo has the fan who stands like a statue. It's a tribute to the head of Congo, the president who was assassinated in the early 60s. It's a tribute to that statue. And the man just stands there the entire match.
Well, that I like. That's fine.
But that's allowed.
But when they start talking about this witch doctor did this, I'd give me a break with that. Isn't that an insult to your intelligence?
You believe in ghosts, Doug?
I don't know.
There's an opening, Tim. I see an opening
here. I don't know
here.
about that.
You're trying to get me going?
No, I'm saying with Doug, I'm saying no to the witch doctor and the curse, but maybe on the ghost. So we got an opening.
Well, it's two wildly different things.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me there's a sliver of you that believes in witch doctors?
Yes.
Is that
I don't want to I don't want a whammy put on me.
Okay.
Tread lightly, Vaughn.
Tens and bunny.
How about that? Does that change your mind?
That's different.
All right. No, I'm not
Chairman Kurt, what happened? They didn't score.
Do you ever hear about
confirm they didn't score?
Do you ever hear about this stuff when a witch doctor puts a curse and it doesn't work?
Less publicized, Doug. That's fair.
Not,
You're getting owned right now.
Let's see. Jake Reynolds says give him a press credential and he will ask for the Navy caps on the road question.
The Cardinals have to give you a credential. We can't give you a credential.
How's your slide piece?
Chris Tuno, if you're listening, we're going to need a credential issued, Jake Reynolds, on behalf of TMA.
I think they will definitely
for one
not
question
be issuing
only.
that press credential.
Shut up, ravioli head.
It is TMA, the program presented by Brown and Crouppen. We'll take a break. JR is coming up in studio here on the Polos Plus dossier. And he's taking your two-part questions. Kyrou traded, the draft coming. What other moves are on deck for the Blues? Jeremy Rutherford opining, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Coming up here on TMA 101 ESPN.
AutoLoanPro.com. Great website where you can pick out a vehicle, the selection there on site. And while you're picking out that car, just know AutoLoan Pro is going to work hard to get you the best vehicle with little to no money down, best rates possible. They do that because they work with over 50 different lenders, getting you the very best financing no matter what your situation, no matter what your circumstance, not just selling you a car. They're going to help you get your life and your credit back on track. Website also has that free playbook. Our guy Jim Olive put this together so that you can better understand how the credit industry works, going to educate you and help you get the car of your choice in the future. Auto Loan Pro is part of the Lita family. So over 50 different lenders, they shop it around to make sure you get the very best rate. Financing a car can get a little complicated, especially if there's been a hiccup along the way. That's why Auto Loan Pro steps in and gets you back on track. AutoLoanPro.com. Check out the vehicles online. Download that free playbook as well. Financing a car, the only thing to know is to choose the pro. Auto Loan Pro.
Welcome back to the Morning After 101 ESPN, TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, little Jackie Papers on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt's now on the floor because, Doug, if you look behind you, I know you have the neck of an owl.
I don't.
That's Jeremy Rutherford sitting
So I'm
in
sitting
the
back there.
Stifel studios here, brought to you by the great Mark Hanna. Morning, JR.
Morning. I told Doug, Tim, when you stepped away that I peed a little bit when he got on his laughing fit. That's my absolute favorite part of the show.
How about that?
You can't just say, we're Mark's Bra and Mulch Emporium. We've got the meat. You can't say that.
I think they have great counsel, and they've been instructed that they can go forward. JR, Harrison's brother Master, is in full celebration mode. He is meeting up with Sharon and Clayton at the Mucky Duck in Captiva. As you know, they're both very wealthy, and they have offered to buy drinks for listeners in the Captiva area. Perhaps some might drive up from Naples and celebrate the trade of Jordan Kyrou. What kind of response have you gotten from your readers, your listeners here over the last 15 or so hours?
Well, is it weird that when the news breaks, and by the way, we have a pre-written story for every Blues player who could get traded, so in the moment, we've got to post the story that we've already written. But as that's happening, as I'm posting that, is it weird that I'm thinking of Harrison?
How about that?
Really?
How about that? He's going to be honored by that.
So you have a rough story written just so that your
It's just
You
a
can
couple
post it
paragraphs.
almost immediately.
Yeah, it's today's day and age journalism. So you got a couple paragraphs that just says Jordan Binnington, Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, who has been traded. So
do you have one for Buchnevich?
I don't know if we have one of those.
Yeah, it gives us an idea of where that is.
But yeah, and I was on BK and Ferrario yesterday, and we were saying that it could happen at any time. Could it happen today?
Were you hearing things, or that was just logic?
No, that was just logic. That wasn't anything that you're tipped off to the possibility of it happening. But I just have felt that this was the time, this was the year that this could happen. With Alexander Steen taking over, the Blues kind of changing to a different core, the fact that they told Robert Thomas, you're not going anywhere, they're going to change up part of this core, and it's going to be Jordan Kyrou. And, I've mentioned the Islanders as a possibility. The Washington Capitals are a team that made it known that they wanted to go out and find a top 6 winger with some speed. His name has been mentioned. This is a logical spot that if it was going to happen. And I think the big thing that we all need to talk about here is the Blues were never going to sell low. And I don't think they did in this case. Now, is anybody going to be wowed by Connor McMichael or the prospect? No, but the package of those two players plus the draft pick that they could do more with. I mean, you're looking at 11, 15, 16, and 29. That could turn into something bigger for the Blues, I think, is a very good package for Jordan Kyrou.
I asked this out, earlier, and I don't know the answer because I know fan frustration was there with Kyrou. Probably some organizational frustration as well. Did you have a sense, like with teammates, that they were kind of waiting for him to make that next step? Do you think he was a frustrating player for his teammates? And maybe that's not even fair to ask, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, no, the best honest answer that I can give you is no player in the past few years specifically said he's got to go or, they need to make a move or anything like that. But I did sense some frustration. There are players that you talk to, veteran players, and you kind of talk about things that happen on the team and things that happen in the locker room with certain players like a Jordan Kyrou. When veteran players replied to me, you're preaching to the choir, dude. It's just a situation where they don't come out and say it, but you can kind of sense it with the things that they do say and reply to the conversation.
Have you gotten Kyrou's reaction yet? I don't think I've seen
that.
that.
No, we're going to reach out to him, effort him, and find out. I don't know if he's going to talk in Washington today, but I have not spoken to him.
Did you get the sense he was ready to move on too, or did he say anything at all about it?
No, I think he understood the situation here in St. Louis and that it probably wasn't going to go the other direction for him. And we all know that he had the full no trade clause. So obviously he was asked to waive that and did so. And I think, when we do talk to him, we'll find out. But I think he did that knowing that, it was probably best to have a change of scenery.
And I would say this, not a bad guy at all, kind of quiet if nothing else. And because of that, I think you never heard really his side of things. He just really wasn't that guy. You didn't hear much from him.
Yeah, and I think, we've seen some improvement in his game, his all-around game, like the defensive game. I think that there was probably some growth in maturity. I think the organization probably would have liked to have seen more. Again, I go back to a couple years ago, and I don't want to put myself into the story here. You guys know that you never want to do that, but just happened to be the case when I asked Jordan Kyrou about Craig Berube, and he said that no comment, he's not my coach anymore. And I think, the way he handled that situation, then being booed by the fans, tearing up in the press conference, then coming out and having a great game, I think spoke to the situation that people in the organization were kind of already aware of, his maturity level and how he handled things and, how he probably could have just said a few nice things about Craig Berube and moved on. But so this isn't to disparage Jordan Kyrou. It's just to say, yes, there were kind of known thoughts about Jordan Kyrou over the years. And I think that that's what led to a lot of his issues, whether it be within the locker room, on the ice, with the fan base, or with the organization.
Jeremy Rutherford is in studio with us and taking two-part questions from you in the audience. Text them in, 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service, text inbox. And 352 people are in the YouTube chat. Look at you. You bring numbers.
Oh, they were there at 6:55.
No. 352 people are in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat wanting to hear this conversation. So if you have two-part questions for JR in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, post those, and I will look at those as well. Subscribe to the TMA STL YouTube channel, Doug, and if they do, you're going to get gold bullion rolled on in here. once we get to 7,000 subscribers. Jeremy Rutherford coming into studio here on the heels of the Kyrou trade and as we are on the verge of the NHL draft. So we have a bunch of people with a bunch of questions, and we are going to have JR with us here for 2 segments so we can get to as many of those questions as possible. The program is brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, online at getbc.com. Ed Herman in studio yesterday talking it over with us. 314-222-2222. That's Brown and Crouppen, local and the presenting sponsor of TMA now for 3 years. Support the sponsors. That's the name of the game. That's why the show has been around for more than 2 decades. If you are in need of an attorney, you want somebody who is local and knows the local legal environment. That's Brown and Crouppen. They're all about St. Louis, founded here in 1979 and just building new offices on the Hill within the last 5 years. It's Brown and Crouppen, getbc.com or 314-222-2222. Brown and Crouppen, they don't get paid unless you get paid. Brown and Crouppen, local. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Jeremy Rutherford sticking around for a second segment with us here to answer your questions. Send them in via text or in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat on the TMA STL YouTube channel and subscribe to that channel so Doug can get his gold bullion. This is TMA 101 ESPN. Well, summer is here, and if your home already feels warmer than it should, your windows could be working against you. When old windows let the heat pour in, your air conditioner has to work overtime just to keep up, and you end up paying for it every month on your energy bills. That's why now is such a smart time to upgrade with Universal Windows Direct. New energy-efficient windows can completely change how your home feels during the hottest month of the year, keeping the cool air in, the heat out, and your home comfortable all summer long. And right now, Universal Windows Direct is making it easier than ever to get the job done. When you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. That's one of their biggest offers of the year. The more windows you replace, the more you save. Plus, you'll get 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. That's 4 full years to pay with no interest, making this the perfect time to invest in your home without stretching your budget. So before the summer heat really settles in, and it is coming here in the next few days, make sure your home is ready for it. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free estimate today. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free. 48 months interest-free, same as cash. Comfort, efficiency, and savings all summer long. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows. Welcome back. It is the Morning After, the show presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. We are in the Fisher Window and Door Store 8 o'clock hour here as we broadcast from the Stifel studios, and Jeremy Rutherford is in the studio with us to take your two-part questions here after Jordan Kyrou goes to the Capitals and the Blues get ready for the draft, currently sitting with 4 first-round picks. Let me start with the non-Ling, former member of this program, JR, and astute puck knower. Here's what he's got, and he was fired up for you being in. He's got a 1A and a 1B. Doug, do you like when people kind of outline?
No, we don't need that.
The question's 1A. Let's assume the Blues won't make all 4 first-round picks. Are they more likely to, 1, trade up in the draft, 2, try to add a 23 to 26-year-old player with one of the higher picks, attach a pick to a big contract to facilitate a deal, i.e. Buchnevich, or 4, try to add a prime-aged player on a short or expiring deal? What do you think?
Was it an 8-parter?
Just like the non-Ling to send
yeah, that's a non-Ling. He's attorney at law.
Attorney, I was going to say. It's an attorney. I think of those options, the first 2 are the most likely. I think
trade up in the draft or try to add a 23 to 26-year-old player with one of the higher picks.
Yeah, it's not to say the other 2 or 8 couldn't happen that he mentioned there, but I think that, when you're sitting there at 11, 15, 16, and 29, Scott Wheeler had it in The Athletic today. He thinks that maybe you could take 11 or 15 plus 29 and move up a couple spots in the draft. Maybe get up to 9. I know that pick's changed hands a couple times. It moved again to San Jose yesterday, so a possibility there. But also, Doug Armstrong commented on this a couple days ago. He said that there's a lot of player movement. There's some players who are available. They're pro personnel with the Blues. Are excited about the opportunity to maybe add a player in that group, 23, 24, 25, 26 years old. And I think you could potentially do that with 1 or 2 of these draft picks.
Here is 1B from the non-Ling. What does your answer above say about the Blues' greater plan for next year and beyond? Are they trying to get substantially better at the cost of future assets for next year? Or are they truly still in a build and develop phase where the hope is the team gets better with internal development and next year's result in the standings is secondary to that growth?
And the non-Ling will be happy to know that I asked Doug Armstrong that specific question. It was kind of in regards to Brady Tkachuk, because if you're going to go after him like the Blues did inquire, then are you trying to be more competitive next year than we think that they were planning to, because they're going to stick to this plan? And Doug said any player that we're going after, we're looking to help us for the next 2, 3, 4 years. You're looking to build around him. So it's not a situation where you're just trying to bring in a Brady and get better, infinitely better next year. It's a situation where we feel the player is going to be able to come in and help us for years to come. So I don't think the Blues, based on what I said with that first answer, are going to try to package everything to make sure that they're a top 3 in the division team next year. I think they're going to still be safe with some things and keep the eye on 2, 3, 4 years as they continue to rebuild this.
Tim's high school buddy says, I'm cool with the Kyrou trade, but I find myself rooting against anything that makes Harrison's brother Master happy. Nothing but the worst for that guy. Sup, Papers. And Jeremy, why is the worst person, or who is the worst person on the planet, and why is it Soccer Guy?
It is not Soccer Guy. I don't know. There's nobody the worst person in the world. Who's the worst person, Marty?
Well, I have a text from one that many would say is Harrison's brother Master.
He's definitely live.
Greetings, JR. Merry Christmas in June.
Christmas.
In your opinion, who is a name you could see the Blues looking to acquire with the amount of assets they have? Are they going big game hunting? And if so, who you thinking? That's Harrison's brother Master, and he's calling it Christmas in June.
So the day that Jordan Kyrou gets traded, after 400 text messages, and we've let off every segment the entire season, now we're going to switch gears and talk about who else could be available. It sounds like. But I think it's they're not going big game hunting unless it made complete sense, like a Brady Tkachuk. Obviously, that was big game hunting, but Jason Robertson, he's big game hunting. Could they make a play at him? Potentially. But as I said with the last answer, I think it's anything that it's a player that they continue to build around who could be part of this foundation. So, there's a couple players who could fit that, but are they available and how much will they cost? No, I think that the Blues are going to continue to try to find these players in that 23 to 26 age range. And if there's one out there, I don't want to have one specifically top of my head, I think they'd be willing to part with picks or prospects.
Ask him about Werenski. Trade everything for Werenski. That's from the Bridgeton landfill fume huffer.
Yeah, and there's another one. I mean, supposedly he could be available. Zach Werenski talking about with the Columbus Blue Jackets, won the Norris Trophy this year as a defenseman. But, I mean, the price is going to be astronomical. He's a young guy who does fit what they're doing. But, at what cost? And there's going to be a lot of people in on that one.
They're going to save about 40-some-odd million with the remainder of the Kyrou deal. So you suppose that might go towards a youngish free agent or restricted free agent?
Yeah, it could. So it's a $8.125 cap hit for the next 5 seasons that he had left on his contract. And Connor McMichael comes in as a restricted free agent with arbitration rights. So if they can't settle in a contract, he'll get a hearing in August, and they'll have to pay him. And depending on what his term is, whether bridge deal 2 years or it's a 4, 5, 6 year deal, he could cost as much as $5-6 million. So that's going to wipe out not all of it, but some of what Kyrou made. So they'll still have some to play with. And, the cap's going to continue to rise. $104 million, could be $113 million in a year or two. I don't think the Blues are going to be a cap team. I don't think they're going to do what they've done and ownership has allowed them to do for years and years, unless they get to that level or it looks like they could be contenders and need to add some salary. Obviously, ownership would listen to that. But I think that with the money that they have freed up with Kyrou, there's probably not a ton left where you look at it and say, okay, now they can go out and get this guy.
Doug, we have gotten a number of these texts this morning, and some might find it to be comical. Some might be anxious to hear what JR has to say. Is 4 first-round picks enough for Connor McDavid?
Oh.
Bring him home.
Yeah, I mean, how about that? I mean,
multiple people back-to-back.
Yes.
Unrelated, saying the same thing.
The answer is obviously no.
The fact that it's even a topic is amazing to me. Like, you think he's going to play in Edmonton and win cups, and he's going to be there for 15 years is what you think when he's drafted, right? But the fact that he just signed that 2-year deal, and it's not 2 years from now where you're going to start talking about whether they're going to trade him. It's going to be a year because they have to move him if it looks like he's not going to re-sign. So, I mean, 4 first-rounders would be the start of a potential package for Connor McDavid.
Do you think Steen is calling more shots, or is this still kind of Army? It's a weird time because Doug is still the face of everything, but a lot of these moves are going to be for the next handful of years. For people who forget, Army's still going to be around, but soon Steen's going to be more the face of all this.
Yeah, and just to, for people who don't know exactly what the situation is going to be like moving forward, Alexander Steen, I think he's going to talk probably the end of June for the first time as the general manager of the Blues. And then July 1st is free agency, and he officially takes over from Doug Armstrong. Doug's handling the draft, and then Steen takes over then. And then for the next 3 years, Doug is under contract as the president of hockey operations. Now, let's keep in mind, he's held that title the past couple of years, the dual title of the president and the general manager. Now he's just going to be the president. He has said that this is Alex's team. He has said that Alex is going to make the decisions, quote unquote, the final call. But Doug's going to be there for him to lean on. So all we can do, Marty, is go by what Doug has told us. And it sounds like Alex is going to be in charge with the caveat that Doug will be there to assist.
Boy, they are coming in fast and furious today, JR. I can tell you that. Let's see. I mean, just in general, what do you think the mindset is? I'm just going to try to sum up, like grokking these texts. The mindset is priority is with the draft, but then that goes back to how many picks are they going to have and where are they going to be picking. But do you have an understanding there from talking with Armstrong earlier in the week?
Well, we're going to talk to him again today at 11 o'clock. Yeah, and I think you guys 101 will carry that. So, and just beside talking to him about Kyrou, we'll probably throw a few more draft questions at him. So the session with him a couple days ago was more big picture and kind of bland, so you didn't really glean much in terms of what the Blues were trying to do. I just have to believe, common sense seems that when you have 11, 15, 16, and 29, they're not going to make all those picks. I'd be shocked. I said in 2023, maybe they won't use all 3 of those picks, and they wound up doing that with Dvorsky and Lindstein and Otto Stenberg. I just see this as a situation where they can package these and try to move up if there is a willing partner.
Talk about McMichael!
Oh.
That's from the 314.
Let's talk about him.
If you're Edmonton, you're never going to do that, or you trade the best player in the game for
he's talking about McMichael, though, right?
Oh, I thought he said McDavid again.
Which one do you want, McMichael or McDavid?
Oh, well,
what if we package McMichael to get McDavid?
We could do that.
4 number 1s and McMichael for McDavid.
Hey, we'll take your Mick. You take our Mick.
Well, I knew you guys were going to ask about McMichael this morning, so I watched the 2 Fox last night for the breakdown.
Oh, boy.
Are you Doug's fat friend? I mean, I'm not calling you fat, but I'm just saying that was the texter that was mad at me for not breaking down the trade.
I'm driving out here listening to the segment, and I'm like, are Doug and I not friends? I thought we were
Doug says he has no fat friends, and people are like, what about Martin? What about JR?
You're just big bone.
For the word.
You're big bone.
No, McMichael, you know what? Probably not a household name for Blues fans, but he's a player who 2 years ago had a breakout year and played well, and last year just wasn't consistent like he was 2 years ago. But, got a text yesterday from a current Blues player who said that, he knows of his game and he's a sneaky scorer, be surprised a little bit with some of the goals that he scores. And this is a guy who comes in, he can play the wing, he can play center. Again, he wasn't great at either last year, but he's got a two-way game, and he plays the style that the Blues are looking to play. So, again, fits in their age range. And I think this is the type of package that if you were going to get something back for Jordan Kyrou, it was going to be something like this, where there's a couple parts to it, and also a player who maybe needed a little bit of a change of scenery, and maybe that's McMichael.
Do you think there's any concern among the Blues ownership that well, they have missed the playoffs, 3 of the last 4 years, that if they're going to rebuild and really not make a super effort to be a big-time contender this year, that maybe the fan base will get a little leery of a team that's not a contender at all here, going on half a decade now?
I think that, it makes sense. It's a fair question. But I think that what we've seen with all the draft picks they've acquired and some of the picks that they've made, and now that we've seen some of them in St. Louis, that the fans are excited about what they're building. And so I think that even if you had a year this year where let's say you're a wild card team or you just missed the playoffs, obviously making the wild card would be great. We can't say what it's going to be like 8, 9, 10 months from now, but I still think Blues fans will be on board with what they're trying to do. And look, that I'm saying that a couple days before they're getting ready to possibly make 4 first-round draft picks. So I can only believe that what they've put in the system already is only going to get amplified here in the next couple days. So more moves. I mean, there could be more moves.
Well, you may have looked this up as well. I was trying to find out what the record is. It looked like Montreal had 5 first-rounders at one point. Does that sound right? Do you know? I'm not putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I think it was 4 or 5. But also Montreal, I saw this yesterday. This kind of ties back to the questions we've talked about already, is Montreal had, 15 and 16? Was it last year, Doug, numbers?
Doug, was it the last year?
15 or 16, yeah,
15,
the numbers.
15 and 16, and traded that for Noah Dobson. Now, granted, they had to pay Noah Dobson, the Montreal defenseman, a lot of money, but it just goes to show that what you can do with these draft picks and what the Blues could do with these 4. So they have a lot. 3 in 2023 and 4 this year. So it's definitely up there, Martin.
Is the draft considered a deep one this year? Are there going to be enough quality players to get somebody really good with 4 different picks?
It's the top 1 or 2 picks with a Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg, 1-2. It kind of drops off after that. There's some really good defensemen, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it tends to drop off a little bit at 9 or 10. And the Blues pick 11. So I think if there is an opportunity for the Blues to trade up and it's not high to number 2, I think it's in the 8-9 area.
I mean, that's kind of what Army was saying the other day, right? That more than likely, he said you just don't see those moves. Although Chicago traded that 4th overall pick, probably wouldn't have done business with the Blues if I had to guess. But that gives you an indication, I guess, of what it takes. But it seemed like he was kind of, and again, these guys could be given out of the smokescreen, but if they could do something, it might be to move up a few spots.
Yeah, and it's all dependent. He talked about it again the other day, is the blocks. And so let's say they got the top 2 players in one block. Then they got the next 6 players in the next block. So now you're looking at 8 players, and those are divided by those 2 blocks. And if they think they can jump in that block and get one of those players that they have in that second block, then they'll do it. If not, they might as well just wait till it becomes their turn at number 11, because in their mind, they feel like players 9, 10, and 11 are all the same.
Getting a lot of questions about Jordan Binnington. Anything you're hearing there?
Nothing, substantial. He said at his exit interview with the media that he would have a conversation with Alexander Steen, like Robert Thomas did, and express, what he thinks about the future. I continue to fall back on the thought that if you have 1 year left on your contract, why would he want to go somewhere else and try to prove himself for the next deal when he's comfortable here? He knows what the situation is. If he feels like he can put in a good summer and put himself in a position to potentially steal some starts from Joel Hofer, then he can do that. But to me, I think that we see Jordan Binnington come back. I think the Blues want him back. I think that they like the tandem. And I know it's just 2 games, but with the schedule going to 84 games, you're really going to need 2 goaltenders, and I think the Blues like what they have.
JR, Jugs in D.C., non-Kyrou question for you, JR. Why do the Blues now have both their minor league teams in the Boston suburbs? And part 2, what color underwear is Doug wearing? It's Jugs.
Whoever said I wear underwear.
Oh, I'll be right back.
I can see the thong sticking out the back, and it looks like canary.
It's a whale's tail.
You like the whale tail on Wednesdays. Whale tail Wednesdays, Martin.
Did you play Whale's Tales at Sigma Chi, Tim? Is that a thing? A drinking game?
Yeah. I think with regard to the question about Springfield and Worcester, and for those who didn't see, the Blues affiliate ECHL. That's so you got NHL, AHL, and then ECHL.
Okay.
Their affiliate was in Florida, and they've just changed that to Worcester, 45 minutes away from the Springfield complex. So they like the idea because they're going to be able to get over there quickly and watch some games, and then also the players can get back and
shuttle back and forth.
Yep.
Great for logistics.
Yep.
Doug, Martin, I've exhausted this text inbox, and Jackson says, I just got wrapped.
Wow.
And I just got wrapped.
This guy.
By little Jackie Papers, who wants to go into the NBA draft and break it down, so this is his time.
Can I ask Papes a question about that?
Cowboy Burkett?
Cowboy Papers.
Cowboy Papers.
What's up?
Hey, so
Sorry.
I'm watching the NBA draft last night for a little bit, right? And why did, for about 4 picks in a row, a player get picked by a team, and then within 10 seconds
He
was
traded?
for like 4 picks?
That was bothering me.
Yeah.
He's wearing the rock.
So like Terrace Reed Jr. now is a former Nugget?
Right.
Because he was a Nugget for 10
I guess,
seconds?
Yeah. Happened with Trae Young and Luka on draft night. These things happen.
Well, there you go. JR, does that help?
Does that help?
So these things happen.
Things happen.
It's a reason.
Your question is, why does it happen?
And he said,
his answer is, these things happen.
Why does any trade happen?
JR, is it true Friday? We did a 4-hour remote, part of the Operation Food Search food drive. Great event, fun broadcast. Did you not eat a donut that entire broadcast?
Wow.
Wow.
Do you know what it's like to be the fat on the dais
Yes.
there, and when you reach for the donut, I can just
The
see
cameras are
thoughts
zooming in.
of the cameras and
Tim, I would only eat a half at a time, which
that right?
Jackson pointed out a half and a half is still a whole donut. But I would just eat a half and say, but then nobody else was going to eat it.
What was your go-to for
the old-fashioned right out of the
I
gates.
like that old-fashioned, too.
And then I did a red velvet. I only ate half, and then I had another half later.
Right.
Boy, that donut driving.
Yeah.
Next level.
JR, good to see you, brother. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming in studio as well.
yeah, I was gonna make another comment, but I saw Papers give you the
Yeah, I got wrapped. I got wrapped on the floor. That's Jeremy Rutherford, brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Mark online at evergreen-ws.com. The program heading into the 9 o'clock hour here from the Stifel Studios on 101 ESPN.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. After losing nearly 200 games over the past 3 years, the Washington Wizards ushered in a new era by selecting A.J. DeBonsa with the #1 pick last night in the NBA draft. He of BYU. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Doug Bismarcky. What do you think, 90? I don't think 91's live, so I'm going to... Here's my reasoning. I think 88's in play. So therefore, I'm going to go 89 to get me 88 and 90 because I ruled out 91. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Burkett.
I think it's 89.
This song came out in 1989.
Okay. And he was trying to sing bad? No.
Well, he had Vapors. Remember Vapors? Was Big Daddy Kane involved in Vapors?
Oh, heavens, I don't know.
Oh, come on, Jackson. Use his real name as he's requested. That's from Steven Time. I don't know what we're talking about.
Probably A.J. DeBonsa.
What'd you call him?
A.J. DeBonsa. But Adam Silver used his full name. And I honestly don't know how to pronounce the first name.
And you got props yesterday for saying Giannis Antetokounmpo during your updates.
Yes, Antetokounmpo.
Martin.
Well, I got praised for pronouncing it correctly, and you just pronounced it incorrectly. I had to. I wouldn't, Yes. But yes, Adam Silver did say his full name last night when he was selected #1 overall.
It's a flex, huh?
We had Jeremy Rutherford in studio for 2 segments. So if you missed that on the Cairo trade and the NHL draft, the next moves for the Blues, you can go back and podcast. Just watch it on YouTube and see what the word is there. That is how you can enjoy the fun and games here on TMA anytime you want. And Keith Tkachuk, first interview as a Hockey Hall of Famer here on the Morning After. And you can go back and listen via the Schaefer Door Company podcast. Very rare here on the program that it's 9:15. The Cardinals played a game last night that wound up being thrilling. And we have not gotten to it, and that's because of the Cairo trade, the Cardinal press conference, go trade. That's coming your way at 11 o'clock, and you will be able to hear it live here on 101 ESPN. So if you want to hear live from Doug Armstrong, that is coming up in about an hour and 45 minutes. But now, talking about last night's Cardinal game, couple of things stand out to me, and I'm curious where you guys are. Eduardo Rodriguez, we talked about it going into the game, how he is a guy who can carve up a team, but sometimes his numbers, not this year, but sometimes his numbers will make you think he's not that guy because he will go out and have an absolutely terrible start, which inflates his numbers. It's really an odd set of circumstances. Last night, he was certainly on and carved up the Cardinals. Of course, Leahy did the same thing to the Diamondbacks. And unfortunately, the Cardinals were on the verge of breaking through and maybe breaking the game open. And then you have the double play with the play at the plate that halts said momentum. Your thoughts on that specific play, gentlemen?
You mean the pop fly that was caught and they tried to score? I don't know. It's a difficult base running play, and I know they thought that the shortstop was maybe going to fall down, and then he'd have no problem scoring.
Momentum moving him away.
Yeah, it was awfully close. Bang, bang play at that. It's hard to criticize it too much. It's just a split-second decision where they think they're going to be able to steal a run right there.
I don't think a low-scoring game. You're just trying to make things happen, force the other team to make a play. I think the biggest headline is Leahy's been pretty good now, 2 in a row. I had him shipped to the bullpen, Doug, about a week ago. Don't think they're going to do that. But Leahy has kind of figured it out a little bit, and that's kind of what they're hoping Liberatore does. He's pitching tonight, coming off an awful outing. I just think right now that with this rotation, they're trying to push these guys through and see what they have moving forward. If the bullpen still needs help, apparently it's not going to be Liberatore or Leahy from everything I understand down there. So that means a guy like Leahy's got to pitch deeper into games. He did. Yeah. Palante's, they needed him Monday to get deeper into a game. He's been doing it, but they needed it, specifically coming off the Kansas City weekend. So the pitching has been a little better, but now all eyes tonight on Liberatore. Where does he go next?
Which then gets me to the second point, and the Cardinals have gotten some of these outings. popping up. They haven't necessarily been back to back to back, where they needed a guy to go deep because the bullpen stretched thin. And it's not really the entire bullpen, it's just the guys you can trust are stretched thin. And last week, you got that incredible start from Dustin May. Last night, you got Leahy and what he was able to do, but they didn't have their go-to guys available, and then they were left exposed in the ninth inning. And wow, that was I love 0-0 baseball games. I realize I'm in the minority on that, but with that said, I love that. It's kind of like I like a golf tournament where it's not a birdie fest. Watching the ninth inning last night, in particular, the top half of the ninth inning, was a really difficult, grueling series of pitches, as I feel like damn near every at-bat went 3-2, and clearly Swanson just didn't have it. And
couldn't get that last pitch past Pavin Smith.
Yeah, and also Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't know if it winds up happening. It's certainly a butterfly effect element with Jordan Walker losing that ball in the lights. That's a second out sitting right there.
Yeah. He didn't see that right off the bat. And it might be an entirely different inning.
And Doug, you made the point yesterday that Swanson overall had been pretty good of late.
Yeah,
he had 8 straight appearances without giving up a run. I think what happens is when he does give up, when it goes sideways, it goes real sideways.
Yeah.
So his last outing where he gave up runs, it was 4 earned in 2/3. And then last night he goes 1/3. Giving up 3 earned.
Yeah.
So when it happens, it does seem to snowball on him.
He did strike out Carroll there in the ninth, but that was after Carroll had hit a foul ball that was about an inch away from being a triple down the right field line.
Yeah.
So they dodged that bullet thinking, oh, good. It's going to work out after all. And it didn't.
And maybe this Max Radjic, who at one time was a minor league pitcher of the year a couple of years ago, maybe he's somebody that can help stabilize things a little bit. Because I still feel like you need another piece or two in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't forget about the Jimmy Crooks passed ball for run 4. That batter popped out 2 pitches later. That's from the Bridgeton landfill fume up.
Mm-hmm. That was bad.
If Leahy can give them anything close to what he did last night, now obviously nobody goes 6 1/3 and gives up no runs very often. But if he can just be the guy that can get you to 6 and still in the game, then the starting pitching's really in pretty good shape. I mean, Livator has not had a very good season, but the other 4 guys definitely take what they're doing, assuming Leahy can kind of stay on the pace from his last 2 starts.
The real question is tonight, what can Livator respond after a couple of really bad outings?
Well, and if he's really bad tonight, then are you at a point where going against what they really believe, which is, hey, if he's going to be with us long term, we got to push through this. We got to find it. We're not just going to pull the plug. Got to work through it. But if he's bad early again, then you're probably in a spot where you're like, God, can we just keep rolling him out there?
They were talking about the Cardinals and what they are going to do here with the deadline, how they view their staff. And who is this? Is this Joel Sherman? I sent you and Chairman Kurt the audio from MLB
Joel
Network.
Sherman, Chairman?
I'll just be honest in media. I don't know who it is.
Nothing wrong with that. I believe that's who it is on MLB Network. I think it's Lauren Shahadi.
I always say this, and we always discuss it. When opportunity presents, do you go for it? Do you feel that way in St. Louis or not so much this year?
Well, that's the pressure point. What does a team that was expecting to rebuild do if they're leading the wild card halfway through the schedule, and they're leading the NL wild card halfway through the schedule right now? Let's not forget, this is the team. They traded more veteran collateral than any team last offseason. Arenado, Contreras, Donovan, Sonny Gray. Do they use some of the stuff they got back? It's not in there. Again, I think they're thinking big picture, but opportunities here knocking at this moment. I would keep in mind Chaim Bloom, who is running baseball operations now, comes from the Tampa Bay tree of executives. That, if you know the Rays, they're a team that even when they're contending does some buying and selling often. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the pathway. The one thing they need more than anything else is some swing and miss, both in their rotation and in their bullpen. If they could find somebody, Aroldis Chapman kind of player, to get some swing and miss onto their pitching staff, it would really be helpful to them.
Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. Well, there is no black and white answer as to whether they trade for the now or for the future unless you know what you're going to get in return.
I don't understand.
Well, if you got a guy like, Dustin May is the obvious one. He's the veteran. Does it make sense to trade him? There's no right or wrong answer there unless you know what you might get in return for that. If you could get two really high-level AAA prospects from somebody, maybe you consider that. But if it's just to dump the salary and get nothing, then I'd say no.
You're just a babe in the woods, my friend.
How about that? It's Jimmy the Bull telling you you're a babe in the woods. I would be surprised if Dustin May would be a salary dump. I don't think they're in salary dump mode. I would imagine it's what kind of on the, quote, revenue side, and by revenue I mean prospect being the revenue.
Like asset
the
loading.
asset side would that get on that side. And so therefore, if you are applying it to how the Rays would kind of buy and sell, and Bloom coming from that family tree of organizational mindset, if he were to apply that here in St. Louis, the one that would make more sense on that, albeit I think we would all agree probably doesn't command as much from the asset side, would be Lars Nootbaar, because then that can open the door for Joshua Bush solution, so much as they really do have a situation in the bullpen. I mean, it would be hard for me to imagine the Cardinals getting into the playoffs with what they have in the bullpen, both in St. Louis and Memphis. It would be really difficult for me to see it happening.
And I also think Nootbaar, somebody who's getting close to 30, if you're looking at the next few years, that would be a guy who would be perfect to move. And if it opens the door for Baez, all the better.
Do you agree with this? If Lars Nootbaar got hurt, Joshua Baez gets called up.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that kind of tells you where things are. And so May, you need. Nootbaar, you don't. And so you can go, okay, well, you're trading away a veteran, but you're trading away a veteran potentially to attain a commodity that can assist you both in the near term and in the long term.
Right.
And
if you trade May, it's like, okay, where do you go
exactly
from there? Where do
right.
you turn? If you trade Nootbaar, you'd say, all right, let's open the door for Baez.
Trade Dustin May before he implodes. Stack prospects. Don't change course before 2028. Doug, that's Steven time.
Okay. I didn't really like his tone.
Going to suspend him?
Not yet. I don't think it was suspension worthy. Mine is
Just get your eye
fair
on him.
brand of jurisprudence.
Doug, do you think Heim would consider a hockey trade? That's from Bobby Bigwheels.
I don't like that term. Hopefully a baseball trade.
Serious question. How much more of a leash does Crooks get when Bernal is sitting right there in AAA, and Crooks already had a go at it last year as well? That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
I think he'll get a considerable look. With the
I'd have to
power
look
numbers
at
that he put up
Crooks'
in
numbers
AAA.
last year, I don't think he had much of a look.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, Bernal is sitting there next, but then that Reniel Rodriguez is sitting in Springfield, also a catcher.
They haven't pitched well. The Cardinals have given up 40 runs in the last 6 games, and they've scored 30. That's from Evil Calvin.
Okay. They had a rough weekend in Kansas City, no doubt about that.
I think the rotation on the whole this season has been a mild surprise. Liberatore disappointment, but the rest of them, the Palantes, McGreevy, Lay, giving you maybe more than what was expected,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think so.
Why is no one discussing the bad baseball in the 9th? The routine fly ball to right that was not caught, and the lazy muffed pass ball were the differences in the game. That inning looked like something from the 2025 season, and we don't want to go back there. That's from the 314.
Again, I didn't care for the tone. The fly ball to right, he just missed it in the lights.
We did discuss that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Martin, I would just assume the texture was under an overpass because that could kind of blow things up. But now I don't know if that's an issue we deal with.
They would go through the underpass and miss critical information that we had just delivered.
Static.
Or like Uncle Rich, he said, yeah, my AM radio's broken. He never heard the station he worked for because his AM radio was broken, and I'll be damned, in his car one time, it really was broken.
I'd like to be Doug's other fat friend. Thanks. That's from the Tim Man.
Okay.
Garbage. All of them. Get back to hockey. Andy Strickland said on his podcast that Bennington would be moved by July 1st. Martin, here's your chance to redeem yourself and get to the bottom of it. That's from Doug's fat friend who is really loaded for bear today.
He's the one that was upset that the 2 Fox morning clip of me was more of my commentary about the Kyrou era coming to an end. as opposed to breaking down Connor McMichael's game. Okay. So Strick is out there on Benner being moved. Okay.
But he still has a week or so for that prediction to prove true or false.
How about this tone, Doug? They are not a playoff team. That's from the Gray Summit Gray Goose Guzzler.
Well, right as of right now, that's a totally inaccurate statement because
Gray Summit Gray Goose Guzzler, the action's back on you.
Yeah, they are indeed in the top spot in the National League wild card race.
And the Brewers win again. Brewers always win.
6 games back, man.
Just a little bullpen help.
You're still bullish. Brewers, by the way, run differential. Joe Strauss used to always use that as a bit of a metric, whether you're good or not. Brewers are plus 122.
Cardinals plus 4.
Plus 4. Dodgers plus 143.
You see the Chicago White Sox are in first place in their division?
Playing the fun brand of baseball there on the south side.
Getting some good crowds, too, eh?
Oh, they were just an absolute laughing stock the last couple of years.
Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. That is coming up on the Polos Plus dossier in a matter of 15 minutes or so. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. Martin, can you tell us about Michael's baths?
I can, Tim. We had him out to our house. We said, we're thinking about doing a little bath renovation. The kids' bathroom had gotten beat up over the years. We weren't sure. Hey, what are the possibilities? What are we talking about? How expensive can it get? You know what? Reasonably priced, and I think that's what scares a lot of folks away. Get with Michael's Baths and get yourself an estimate. You can do it by calling 636-775-0800. Absolutely love what they came up with. My wife had some ideas, but the folks that come out, not just salespeople, those are former installers, so they know all of the logistics of the bathroom remodel. What you have in mind, they put it pen to paper, and then next thing you know, you've got a brand new bathroom. Looks excellent. 5-star reviews. Every one of the reviews are 5-star. Michael himself started the company, so it's family owned. michaelsbaths.com. That is the website. If you want to do something simple, just do a little tub to shower conversion, get that old tub ripped. They'll work with your budget. A+ rated with the BBB. All of their workers, I love this fact, they all work for Michaels. That means they are not being contracted out. That happens a lot with projects. None of that. So if you're in the 101 ESPN listening area, they will come to you and draw up a design. It's 636-775-0800. It really does make the whole house feel new when you get that bathroom fixed. Fun to look at that. I just walk down the hall, Tim, sometimes just staring at that bathroom.
Yeah.
They did a great job. Love working with Michael's Baths.
You're not staring at people in the bathroom.
No, Doug, the bathroom is empty when I'm staring into it.
Okay.
It's so much fun. I showed these guys what it was before and after. It's unbelievable the difference they can make for your bathroom. It's 636-775-0800.
We have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today coming up the morning after at InsideSTL.com. And Jackson has some audio of Scottish soccer fans being interviewed live on air by a Miami reporter, Doug, and it might have gotten away. We have that coming up. It's TMA 101 ESPN.
People have started to figure it out. You want to go down to Florida, want to get there quick and inexpensive, you go to Mid-America's St. Louis Airport. FlyMidAmerica.com is the website. Book your flight through Allegiant, and then know when you fly out of Muscuda, you're going direct, and it's real convenient. Things you don't hear these days when talking about airline travel, the convenience that you get at Mid-America's St. Louis Airport. So whether you're going down to Destin, Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, Jacksonville, the Orlando area, Sarasota, St. Pete, all of them going direct from Mid-America St. Louis Airport. You're going to get the great deals with Allegiant, but also that convenience. You park in front, the lot. I've been telling folks this, and then my wife and I did it for spring training, went to Fort Lauderdale, the security, TSA, all that in about 20 minutes. That's just unheard of. So you get the convenience and then a direct flight down to Florida or Gulf Shores, Vegas. They have flights to Savannah. They go to South Carolina, all these great destinations. Not too late to put together a summer trip for the kids. Want to head to the beach? Go to the website, flymidamerica.com, and find out more about Mid-America St. Louis Airport.
Doug, is this Vapors?
I don't know who this is.
Take a listen to this. Listen to this sax. This is a yakety sax, right? Unbelievable.
Marcel Theo Hall.
Bismarcky, DBA. Tell me this isn't a jam, eh?
Well,
I didn't realize he died.
No. Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com, because on the PolosPlus.com dossier, we have that Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up. But here we have a couple of pieces of fun with audio that Jackson Burkett, one he's been eagerly wanting to play, and another I think it might have come from a local show here this morning with U.S. Open winner Wyndham Clark, who, Doug, his Twitter history is causing problems for him.
What is it now?
So we'll have that for you here in this segment on the Morning After 101 ESPN. It's a presentation that is delivered to you by Brown and Crouppen. Jackson, what do we have going on here with these Scottish fans live on air in Miami?
Yeah, Miami reporter interviewed some Scottish football fans outside of
the Tartan Army.
Yeah, they take on Brazil today.
Yeah, outside of Lone Depot Park where the Marlins play, and probably had something to drink beforehand. A little fired up. Dangerous to do it live on the air. She found out the hard way.
I'm with a group of the Tartan Army here as we just finished our march from the volunteer. Walk from Gallegos down here to Lone Depot Park. We love Miami. We love Miami. Up the Scotland. Up the Scotland. Okay. All right. So Scottish fan. I'm sorry. So no Scotland, no Cork. That is, of course, the Scotland. We seem to go viral.
Yeah. Lost control.
Sorry.
Grabbed the mic with two hands to be able to say that.
Doug, that's when you know he's packed a lunch.
We had an edict at Channel 4 several years back where they said no more live shots in bars because if somebody comes up and cusses, the station can get a serious FCC fine for that, even if it wasn't one of your people that did it.
Yeah. It's a dangerous play.
But if you are going to step out and do a live hit, maybe outside like the county council meeting,
right.
Maybe not with the Tartan Army marching to a game while heavily intoxicated.
Do you see they were playing bagpipes up and down Little Havana yesterday? It was awesome.
It's amazing the travel budget these people have. Like they'll be in one town, then 2 days later they're in the next town.
Well, for this, I bet you had people saving up for a long time for
sure.
a big trip to America to watch the World Cup.
Yep.
Tartan Army gets Brazil today. Scotland going to be around for the knockout stage?
Unfortunately, I do not think so.
What are you trying to say? You
gotta
making a play right here?
You got to play?
I think Brazil's going to win. I'm sure the odds are going to be, I'm sure Brazil's like minus 600 or something.
Do you think they watch Braveheart before every game? Get them fired up?
They sit there for 3 hours before the game.
They'd probably have to win this to have a shot.
They trail Morocco.
And Brazil.
Right.
Morocco's really good.
Morocco's playing Haiti today.
Haiti is winless so far in Group C. Doug.
Switzerland, Canada, 2 o'clock on the old 2 Fox. Scotland, Brazil, that'll be at 5 o'clock. And then we got a nightcap, I think?
Have to.
Czechia, Mexico. Yeah, that's the 8 o'clock.
That'll be a good game.
Tim, that'll be a good game.
I'm glad to see that Turkey A is not going to advance because I don't want to continue with the nonsense of Turkey suddenly becoming Turkey A. That just bugs me.
What about Cape Verde being Cabo Verde?
Cabo Verde.
Version? Like Turkey, I was kind of familiar with.
You can still call them Turkey.
It's just offensive.
It's not offensive. That's just how they prefer to be. It's in their language. That's how it's.
And you don't think they change it just for the World Cup so they could go Turkey?
It's the country.
Like Kevin Demoff came up with that so they could have a cheer.
It's been a thing for a couple of years now.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying this is. I'm only saying that.
Soccer boy over here.
No, I'm only saying that because it predates the World Cup. This wasn't a thing just for the World Cup.
The names of countries are different based on your language. Like
Certainly.
we're not the United States.
Like in Germany,
Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah, Germany they say Deutschland. They don't say Germany necessarily.
Right. But it doesn't mean we have to start saying Deutschland.
Or in Japan they might say Nippon, but that doesn't mean that. Yeah, right. You can call it whatever you want.
Turkey.
No one's saying you have to say Turkey.
Okay. Oh.
Did Wyndham Clark go on Pardon My Take yesterday or today, Chairman? I feel like you're our Barstool correspondent.
I think they may have had him on the episode that came out this morning.
Got it. Okay. So Wyndham Clark wins the U.S. Open on Sunday, and I think more than his performance in the U.S. Open, people who were casual observers watching a major on Father's Day, which of course is a tradition for many, were going, why are all of these people booing him? If he hits a good shot, they boo. If he hits a bad shot, they cheer. And part of the reasoning, I think when it gets down to it, is number one, they just wanted to see some excitement. Number two, Scotty Scheffler celebrating his 30th birthday, and if you're there and you make the trip to the Hamptons, now I know Jackson, takes the helicopter out there, but for the average person, getting out to the Hamptons is not an easy thing. You want to see history. You want to see Scotty Scheffler get the career Grand Slam. But in addition to that, Wyndham Clark destroyed the Oakmont, his locker at Oakmont, and was banned from the course and the club after last year's U.S. Open. And then also there is some Twitter tweet history, Doug, that is a little odd, one of which was he tweeted out, I hate Baker Mayfield, and he was asked about the history there as to why he tweeted that out when he did years ago.
Okay.
Here is the U.S. Open winner, the two-time U.S. Open winner.
All right, let's hear it.
I was curious if I could just take you back to December 3rd, 2016. We were talking, you said haters going to hate on Twitter earlier in this interview. You did tweet, I hate Baker Mayfield, and I was just curious if you still feel that way. Maybe your thoughts on that. Maybe that hate in your heart's gone away, or maybe where you're at on that.
I'm trying to decide if I should tell the story.
Yeah.
All right, screw it. I don't care. People already hate me. So, no, it's not that bad. My PR team's here.
Listen, your PR team's on the hot seat because we're coming up with ideas they never thought of.
No, they didn't. They prepped me for everything. They didn't prep me for this one. My girlfriend at the time cheated on me with Baker Mayfield.
That's a fair tweet.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
But here's what I will say. Everyone's dying. As I have come to, I'm actually a Baker fan now. I think he's a homie. That's your initial response.
Right.
Screw that guy, but really it's screw the,
Yeah, your girlfriend, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a Baker fan now, but that's where it came from.
That's a totally, we were trying to figure it out. We're like, oh, well, Oklahoma State, there's natural hate there. No, this is, that's a totally fair tweet.
This is personal. Yeah. I hope actually this is a bro moment for us to be like, oh, bro, I didn't know, my bad. She never told me. And I'm like, oh, it's all good. We're homies. Let's play golf. That's where I hope this comes from.
Doug, so he was cucked by Baker Mayfield, and that is why he tweeted out, I hate Baker Mayfield in December of 2016. And now the explanation is there.
I think he's probably winning over some fans with his willingness to tackle this stuff with a laugh and a good nature.
Absolutely. I think that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think people are watching that and they go, most people don't follow this stuff that closely. I do follow it closely. I'm like, God, is this all about him banging up the oak?
Why do people care about a locker getting beat up?
Here, Doug, I like to introduce Master's Thesis.
Okay.
A segment here on the program. This is another master's thesis from somebody who couldn't quite graduate from the University of Missouri, considered the Harvard of the Midwest, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
For some, and oftentimes this is, their interactions are limited more so to the people that they interact with on social media. And so that becomes the behavioral norm. And so you can act like an ass on social media, and then you get pats on the back from the fellow community. But then you go out into the world, and then you do it again, and then those not living on social media go, what the hell's going on with this guy? And I think, and then you have also the phenomenon that predates social media, which is groupthink, and that was the culmination of what we saw, I think, on Sunday at the U.S. Open. Because when people found out the backstory on Wyndham Clark, they're kind of like, okay, is it really that big of a deal? But I also wanted to include, I think people who were present wanted to see Scotty Scheffler win more than they were thinking about Oakmont or even aware of Oakmont or his tweets about Baker Mayfield. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. See, just what you're there, you want to see history. I don't hate Brooks Koepka, but when I was at Belle Reve in 2018, I wanted to see Tiger Woods win. I don't hate Adam Scott, but I wanted to see Tiger Woods.
You were yelling, get in the bunker every time Brooks was in his backswing?
I was doing that, and I was hiding behind Doug. It's a place I'm
Well, that's the damaged locker that got me, because I'm a locker activist.
You like the Spartan clubhouse of Oakmont?
You start kicking in lockers, I mean, you lose me, bro.
There's no doubt it's crowd mentality. Like the guy next, he's like, "You suck, boy, why do you hate him?" "Oh, yeah, you hear what happened at Oakmont last year?" "Oh, really?" And then the next guy says, "Oh, yeah, this guy, he's kind of a jerk." And then they just mob mentality, for sure.
The online sad Reddit fats will never be happy and will always need a whipping boy. See Cairo and Sharon and Clayton and Harrison Brothers Master, perfect example of sad fats. That's from the Bridgeton landfill fume huffer.
And we're pretty sure they're all heavy-set folks?
According to the Bridgeton landfill fume
Chances
huffer,
are
yes.
pretty good that they are. You know.
Who freaking cares he tuned up a locker? That's from Eric in the Central West End.
I don't know. I guess the club did. They threw him out.
He's been banned.
Mm-hmm. Not the worst thing that's ever happened on a golf course, but
I also appreciate his tone there in that interview where he's like, who cares? People hate me anyway. Like, at this point, you got nothing to lose.
You're kind of freed up.
Like, well, everybody hates me. What am I going to do now? I'll just start speaking the truth.
I hope it doesn't follow him around now to other courses, other tournaments.
I don't think it will.
Doug Zaxky, speaking of being hated and at peace, Zaxky is active this morning, and he is upset about the Oakmont thing and in my mere existence. If you don't understand that the resentment comes from the Oakmont thing, you are lost. Wyndham Clark is a clown who capitalizes on hate and then rests on the death of his mom. It's a bit nauseating. I love how little Timmy boy acting like he's above everyone else intellectually. I love your buzzwords. It's almost like the 5'3" guy in the room can't grasp how dumb he is. Oh. You guys are effing morons, and Marty has bought a gallon of the McKernan, and then it's basically another word for seed, and that is not available yet.
Leave us alone. Oh.
But Martin, if you are interested, we can do a Venmo.
Gallon?
I can go halvesies with you.
Doug, that's Zaxky. I think I might be a Zaxky Lemming. I got to be honest with you.
You like the comments.
I just don't. I can't imagine that the vast majority of people spending their Sunday afternoon booing Wyndham Clark in the Hamptons were bent out of shape over him kicking down the locker at Oakmont. I know some people are aware of it.
Locker activists.
Right. And you are a locker activist.
I am. You know, you leave the lockers alone, guy.
Doug, members have to give up their lockers during a pro tournament. Clark took a dump in the locker.
Damage the locker.
Seriously, like you got to grow up.
What? Who?
Some of these people, like, it was so bent out of shape about a damn locker. Who cares? The guy was angry. He went through anger management therapy. He, from everything I've seen, he seems like a pretty normal guy who had a bad temper and has worked on it. So, yeah. Like, I was really fired up when he got to hug his dad at the end of that tournament. His dad surprised him there. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he was there. That's awesome. Like, I think people are reaching really hard to be like, boy, I hate Wyndham Clark. Like, there's a lot of people that hate in this world. Wyndham Clark's not one of them.
There's probably a whole lot of lockers that have been damaged in other sports over the years.
Right.
And that's what led to the locker activist community being so
And the
popular.
people at Oakmont have forgiven him, right? Like,
well, no, I mean, he's banned.
I thought they had made amends.
That's correct. The chairman is correct on that.
But
he was banned,
okay.
But I don't know if it was the president of Oakmont, a spokesperson for Oakmont said that they have moved on.
Okay, yeah.
You might be citing Scott Van Pelt's podcast where he talked about this. He goes, I don't understand how people online are so upset about it when Oakmont has said they've talked with them and they are at peace with what happened. But, like I said, I'm going back to my social media.
I mean, there's so many athletes who have done criminal activity that are in the headlines and in the courts. And the fact that this is on par. Like,
okay, are they perceived as well-to-do with the name Wyndham, and therefore we can hate on them?
Now I'm going to Google.
Yeah.
Pro athletes named Wyndham in court.
We got to understand the socioeconomic frustrations of those approaching an age where they realize it's probably not going to turn around.
If we're talking about well-to-do, then people hate 97% of the tour. I mean, most of these guys aren't coming from very humble
what if their
roots.
name's Bill?
Right. So if he was Bill Clark,
correct.
Bill Clark from Allegheny County, it would be different.
Did Jackson break anything today? If not, congratulations on having a good day. So the Hunchback of Uncastle.
No, I've never broken anything, but you tell me everyone's gotten mad on playing. If you play golf, you've gotten upset before, and you have to have a little restraint. Sometimes some people lash out. A moment of anger or like an embarrassing moment like that. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's worn it harder than anyone else.
Some people break some things, some people break other things.
How about that? Think about that.
Right.
Oh, Joe.
Joe? Producer Joe. I'm just glad the pure and law-abiding National Football League took a hard stance on Brendan Sorsby by telling him to enjoy Canada or the Hoosier Battle Dome this year. That's from Carlos Spicer. Doug, is that the Battlehawks quarterback?
Could well be.
No supplemental draft for Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah. Well, who is he?
Felt pretty specific.
Yeah.
Who is he?
We always have one of these. We'll skip it.
That is a move. Matter of moments. And we look forward to reading your emails at the morning after at InsideSTL.com. It is TMA 101 ESPN.
Donald Fagen's birthday?
Was it?
No birthdays.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
All right.
What was our movie last year? Another incident about another thing or something?
One battle after another?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is big needle drop here.
Doug, what instrument is that? Sounds like a horn. Doesn't it sound like a horn? Is that a French horn?
I don't know what kind of.
Oh, I know the theme because European Vacation is on our TV in here.
Yep,
And
Clark W. Griswold.
Chevy Chase was once in Steely Dan.
That's right. Nicely done. Doug, check this out. And in van. 2, 1. Guten Tag. My family and I are looking for sex. Clark W. Griswold with Blake Lively's older brother.
Yeah. Jason Lively.
Okay.
Played Vusty, and Jackson was opining during the commercial break that European Vacation would be regarded more highly if Blake Lively's brother wasn't as tall.
He's too tall. He's like the same height as Chevy Chase, who's a tall actor.
Yeah, that's too much.
And then the Christmas Vacation came out a couple years later, and it's played by Johnny Galecki, who's like 9 years old at the time and much shorter.
But did anybody care?
I don't.
No.
Warsaw Woods Wacko is introducing a conspiracy theory regarding the 2018 PGA Championship and the lockers at Belle Reve that I have never heard. And I'm leaving it at that, but I'm curious in our listening audience if anybody else had ever heard anything like that. Doug, I know you and I are, we're essentially members at every club in town. Really, America.
Gratis.
Yeah. They just want us there. But I was not in the locker room during August of 2018, so I can't speak to that. So I'm wondering if anybody can corroborate, if anybody heard.
As far as I know, they did not allow the media into the locker rooms.
Well, no, I understand that, but I'm talking about listeners who may be familiar with said theory. So with that said, it's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Hey, babes. Oh, you like these emails to start off? Hey, babes.
No, I don't care for it.
Hey, babes. I have returned, alas, on a part-time basis. I spent the last year or so fighting a war against laser dolphins in Guam and wasn't able to tune in. The only thing that kept me from succumbing to those laser-beaming bastards was the hope that I would once again be able to hear the soft, sultry tones of Douglas Vaughn, the saucy South City swagger of Tim, the West County white privilege takes of Jackie Papers.
Not from West County.
And a few cuck chair jokes. Unfortunately, the government is sending me on another assignment to battle fire-breathing wolves in the jungles of Argentina, and I'm not sure when I will return. But I know one day I will, because I told the powers that be that I once eradicate those flame-throwing puppies, I'm out for good. I need to be where I can hear my boys every morning. Whether I'm on the shores of the mighty Mississippi or retired to a beach in Tierra del Fuego, I will one day return on a full-time basis. To Martin, you handsome devil, keep asking the tough but oh-so-soft questions. And to Chairman Kurt, you're fighting the toughest battle there is, getting the Cardinals to wear Navy caps on the road once again. And I hope you fight that fight until you can't fight any longer. Tarps off, boys. It's from the Never-Ending Wipe, TMA August 2025, Listener of the Month.
Never-ending wipe.
Gentlemen, Mark from Mark's Mulch and Bra Emporium, thank you for lunch and outfit shopping yesterday. To make things official, I would like to formally inquire about becoming a VIP sponsor of the Morning After studio infrastructure, which appears to be entering the final stages of its service life. Over the past few weeks, our marketing department has observed microphones falling apart, microphone arms collapsing under their own weight, listeners showing up uninvited and unannounced to residences. The email of the day Gmail account becoming inaccessible again, and a phone system unable to connect with a former producer despite him having spent years sitting in the very room troubleshooting the same issues.
Yeah, well, history repeats itself.
Naturally, this got our attention over at Mark's Mulch and Bra Emporium. Rather than a traditional sponsorship, I'd be interested in attaching our brand to the individual pieces of failing equipment you continue to pretend is normal. Current opportunities appear to include the South microphone arm collapse of the week, the wildly popular commercial break immediately following a commercial break, the third segment dedicated to explaining what happened during the previous segment, the studio's last remaining functional USB port, the Hubbard-approved extension cord, and the emergency "can somebody just text him" communication network. Before proceeding, I should mention we're already seeing excellent returns through our sponsorship of the Gangster Pete Emotional Support Bench behind the City Hall Sanitation Department. So we need to understand where TMA fits within our broader marketing portfolio. Please advise. Regards, that's from Mark, and he's over at Mark's Mulch and Bra Emporium, Doug. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof. Mark's Mulch.
That's taken two. Come up with your own slogan.
No, but it works.
But he had the meats, and now he's moved on.
Yeah.
Mark's Mulch and Bra
I think
Emporium.
yesterday was break me off a piece of that mulch. And bra, of course.
If history's taught us anything, if anything in this life is certain, it's that Alexander Graham Bell will struggle with the most basic of telephonic technology.
That's pretty funny.
Hello, Plowsy. He's not there, Tim. Maybe y'all should have brought back in the sea monster who once managed to get Vivian Azure on the program from across the pond via WhatsApp.
Truly
Can you
incredible.
hear me good?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, old man Doug was providing the solution of making two calls and then merging them, but that fell on deaf ears while Libby Jack fumbled about like Buster Bluth, struggling to read a map. Obviously, this blue part here is the land. Fortunately or unfortunately, Mr. Foreskin was able to fill time by providing his nudity recap from the new Sydney Sweeney picture before getting back to his berating of ASMR Ting Ting DBA #1 Asian intern Brian Henson for being too big of a simp to beg for an autographed Caitlin Clark basketball to be given away at a charity bowling event in another state that he has no association with. Finally, after 20 minutes, Libby Jack decided to listen to old man Doug's suggestion, and Plowsy was able to join the presentation to let us know that both his OnlyFans page and his testicle sale are both still on the table. That's from Buck Swope, DBA, the Recessed Lady's Breasts.
Buck Swope.
Good morning, TMA crew and 101 ESPN team. With today's news of Bill DeWitt Jr. stepping back, transitioning into the next generation of Cardinal leadership after 3 decades at the helm, I couldn't help but reflect on another St. Louis institution who shows no signs of slowing down, Doug Vaughn. While Mr. DeWitt has given us 30-plus years of ownership stability and mostly winning baseball, Doug has been a daily constant on the airwaves. Sharp, hilarious, and apparently allergic to retirement. If listeners have one collective request, it's this. Doug, we expect you to outlast DeWitt's run. We're talking at least another 30 years behind the mic minimum. No early goodbyes, no phase transitions, and definitely no cryptic press conferences about the next generation of Morning After hosts. The Cardinals are in good hands with the next generation. Just make sure the Morning After stays exactly the way it is, with Doug still roasting everyone and dropping those legendary one-liners well into the 2050s. Thanks for another great show, fellas. Keep killing it. Go Cards. That's from the Cronky Hater. Wouldn't that be fun? In 2050 on New Year's Day. Papers only be 52.
Ooh, I'll be just coming into my prime.
Yep.
I'll be like at 115 or something.
Yeah, but you'll still have takes.
I would think I would.
Good morning, Uzbekistan. Wait, this isn't being broadcast from the Central Asian desert? You guys are actually in a supposed metropolitan area in a first world country? That's shocking because after listening to yesterday's ATMA when Mouthguard couldn't figure out how to use his cell phone, I just assumed it was because the technology hadn't made its way out there yet. One day at a time, Pringle turns a little more into the used catcher's mitt. Screw Chuck Todd. I had to take Metro today because my car wouldn't start. That's Jugs, and he's in D.C.
Jugs?
Just poor effort.
In D.C.
And finally, Tim is such a Van Pelt wannabe. He starts out talking normally, then he drops his tenor and increases the tempo, adding this sort of gravelly effect while he throws around fancy phrases like groupthink. So fake. You suck, dude. Thanks. And Anyong, #1 Asian intern Brian Henson. Hey, speaking of seed, how do I get a couple jugs of Doug's zucchini milk? That's from Brian Henson. He's the beat writer for the Colts.
What does that mean?
Just a milk alternative.
Right.
Almond, zucchini.
I didn't like it.
Peanut.
And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. What we're going to do is we're going to vote. And then at 11 o'clock, you're going to have the Doug Armstrong press conference addressing the Jordan Cairo trade. And then BK and Ferrario will be on the presentation here on 101 ESPN. And then the Fast Lane at 2 o'clock. We've got After the Morning After. And then I've got the Spread Zone with Riz and Anthony Stalter, despite the fact that our show is at war with their respective shows. But it's Radio Wars. I mean, that's the game. That's what we've chosen. This Friday night, tune in to 101 ESPN as Alex Ferrario and Donnie Fandango from the Last Minute Blues podcast host a special 101 ESPN NHL draft show. The Blues are loaded now with 4 first-round picks, meaning this draft could shape the next era of hockey in St. Louis. Alex and Donnie will have you covered with instant analysis, special guests, and reactions all night long. The 101 ESPN NHL Draft Show this Friday starting at 6 p.m., supported by Jules on Hampton. We are headed into the 10 o'clock hour, even though it's already 10:09. Martin is headed into onboarding. This program is called The Morning After, and it's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
Hosting a July 4th party or going to a friend's little backyard picnic, pool, whatever it is, surprise them by bringing something from 1879 Distilling. They've got the great selection of Red Barn vodka, all different flavors. Mix it up a little bit. Bring them a little surprise. You can do that by stopping by Village Bar. That's where you can buy the product. They've got the general store where they sell merchandise as well. Hats and hoodies for Village Bar and 1879. All these great spirits are being made right in back of the Village Bar. Inside that barn. That's the home to the distillery there where they make the award-winning rye and bourbon and the dark Havana rum. But again, different flavored vodka, kind of fun during the summertime. So if you're going to a friend's or your in-laws are having you over, surprise them with something from 1879. Stop by Village Bar, have yourself some lunch, happy hour, meet some friends, hang out there, watch the game, get the cheeseburger. You know all about that. You may not have known the barn and back is home to 1879 Distilling. It's also a great spot for private events. You can find out more by going to 1879distilling.com.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals, Diamondbacks tonight, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. Matthew Liberatore on the mound for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Listen to that production. Well, Doug, it's time for Stifel Market Moves with Jackson Burkett.
That's right, Doug. Stifel Market Moves, presented by Stifel, where we size up some of the biggest storylines, decides which one we're backing, dropping, or watching. We bring the takes. Stifel brings a steady perspective. They polled MLB players on do they believe there will be a lockout at the end of this season. Do you want to take a guess on what the majority of players said?
Yeah, I sure do, because I said it on the show yesterday that it was 70%.
It is now 80%.
They've moved up. What, it moved up yesterday?
Well, this is the Athletics poll.
Yeah.
80% believe there will be a lockout.
Well, 80.
And I brought that up with Ed Herman when he was in studio yesterday, and he said he's not sure that deep down they really believe that, but in order to negotiate, and then he got into how deals are usually made on the courthouse steps, as he talked about, that you've got to publicly, and then perhaps like maybe Daniel Day-Lewis, really play your character at all times and have that conviction. Right. But then all of a sudden, playing chicken, somebody has to blink. I am of the opinion that there will be a lockout. I know in St. Louis right now, many are feeling very good about the Cardinals, and understandably so, and talking about a lockout would be a buzzkill. But, Doug, I'm not paid to be popular, thank God, and I'm paid to be honest, and I would be shocked if there is not a lockout, and I also would say that there is a percentage that I would consider to be healthy that there is no baseball in 2027.
So that's kind of where I was going next is, do you think there's a possibility of lockout, kind of like the last time we had it where it was lockout and then just start spring training later, or do you think this could be a full year?
Full year, I think, is in play.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I think that is what's going to happen.
I think so. I think there's enough owners willing to take a hardline stand to say, all right, we're not going to watch the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
And we're going to wait you out. And so when Ed Herman of Brown and Crouppen says playing chicken, I think both parties are prepared, and I'm talking about with capital reserve, to wait out 2027 and not blink. The question is, would both parties have the capital reserve and the stamina to wait out 2028? That's the question.
Yeah.
But that's what I think we are on the precipice of. Because the owners want the salary cap and the players, I don't know. Here's the thing, and I really don't know. But I don't know if this generation of players is as anti-salary cap so much as they are not wanting to be the generation that gives in on this thing that has become really the first commandment of the Major League Baseball Players Association and therefore the alumni of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor of it, maybe bigger than anything, because I think in a vacuum they could even be reasoned with on like, well, it's not necessarily you're going to make less money. Now, there's certainly an opportunity that could be the case, but you definitely don't want to be, after generations upon generations of players, to be the ones to give in.
I think they could make, the owners could possibly find a way to make a deal if they could significantly raise the minimum salary. Because there's an awful lot of players out there who aren't making $25, $30 million, and they might be able to convince enough of these young players to take 2 or 3 times their current salary, which isn't much by baseball standards, and get enough of a vote that way that the union might pass it.
That and minor league salaries, too. We saw this thing with Fernando Tatis where he was using that company that is now taking a healthy percentage of his future earnings because they gave him a loan. If you had pretty solid salaries down the minors and early before our pre-arbitration salaries, you might not run into that many issues because that's a bad deal there.
But if they could make it for where a young player, instead of making the minimum, which is what, $750?
Yeah.
If the minimum was $1.5 million,
right,
then how many current major league players would say, "Sure, sign me up. I like that deal.
Sure,
I may not be here 6 or 7 years. I may only get a year or 2, but still, that's going to be enough to be a major cushion for the rest of my life." That may be what the owners could do.
Here's a little behind the scenes. Martin enjoys logistics. This is behind the scenes. I enjoy behind the scenes. Doug got done with his take. Jackson anticipated me following up. I had internally decided, as the guy considered to be the greatest host in St. Louis sports talk radio history,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I have that
So
latitude.
people are saying.
So people are saying.
Yeah.
That we would move on, and I knew it was a sponsored segment, and therefore Jackson had his pre-production, which to me is the greatest pre-production in the history of St. Louis Sports Talk Radio.
Thank you.
But Jackson was in the middle of drinking, what is that, a latte?
This is a little cafe americano.
Oh, is it really?
I drink black coffee, meat and potatoes is all I eat. You know, I'm going to have a
can't
heart
afford
attack.
creamer or
I'm
anything.
49.
I think
The fact that I've
Americano is
gotten this far
essentially
without
black
one is amazing, and I got a guy over here drinking cafe americano, whatever that is.
Espresso and hot water.
What's
Okay.
that, Doug?
Sounds like a kind of a frilly drink to me.
It's the coffee boat drink?
Mm-hmm. No, there's plenty of coffee boat drinks out there. Americano is a working man's espresso drink.
You ever had matcha?
It tastes like potting soil.
Potting soil?
I'm out on it.
Doug, you don't strike me as a matcha kind of guy.
I'm not a coffee guy at all.
That's more like a tea.
Oh, how about this, Jackson? You and Eric in the Central West End have found common ground. Jackson Americano is my favorite drink also.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like if I'm going to a brew house, a coffee house, it wouldn't necessarily be on the top of my list, but we have an espresso machine here, and the closest thing to just straight black coffee would be an Americano, which works for me. But I do like them. I just seldom order them in the wild.
There it is. It's Stifel Market Moves and Jackson's favorite coffee.
Yeah, there you go.
The program's called TMA. It's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. You got that Tommy Sabulka and Brian Grigg over at VIP Auto Accessories, which sponsor the drops of the week. Go to VIP Auto Accessories because they take care of everything. They're a one-stop shop. I went there about 2 months ago to get my windows tinted. And, man, it's really nice to have when the weather warms up. It really is, especially if you have kids. They have a lifetime warranty on that. But VIP Auto Accessories really makes single-source automotive solutions for your business a reality. This includes the upfits, the graphics, the ongoing maintenance. When I met, I've known Tommy for a few years. He's advertised on TMA. And I got up to meet Brian Grigg, and I asked him, and I was being sincere when I asked this. I said, "Are you guys own it now?" Because the way they talked about it with their passion for the business and the growth and the things that they're doing talked more like people who are shareholders. And the reality is they're just passionate about it. It's something that they really care about. They love, and they know they have the best product in the market. And they want people to be aware of that and do business with them. That's the kind of company I want to do business with, and that's why I did business with them. 4 departments under one roof. In addition to commercial upfits, you have graphic solutions, hail repair and touch-up, and aftermarket. For all your commercial vehicle upfit needs, ask for Tommy Sabulka, and for all your aftermarket vehicle accessories needs, ask for Brian Grigg and tell him that TMA sent you. It's VIPAutoaccessories.com. It's TMA 101 ESPN. It's the morning after 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn. Chairman Kurt slides into the dais when Martin goes to that onboarding procedure, usually about a 4-year deal before you complete onboarding.
4 or 5.
And then you have a residency.
Right.
That's correct. Little Jackie Papers is on the 1s and 2s. I guess we're taking topic requests because people are making topic requests, Doug. Johnny Layup says, missed the show earlier and don't have time to PLTD. So quick recap on your thoughts on the Cairo deal, please.
Gosh, we're broadcasting to one person again.
Johnny Layup. I like Johnny Layup.
Okay.
Well, I love it. I can't believe the return they were able to get. And I think it will be a positive for both parties. I am even more intrigued by what takes place at the NHL draft for the Blues. And even though I realize both the Cardinals and the Blues are unlikely to experience a championship, the Cardinals in October, but who knows, the Blues in next June. I love seeing the organizations taking steps, and sometimes a business experiences growth, perhaps counterintuitively, experiencing addition by subtraction. And I love that the Cardinals did that this past offseason, and the Blues have done it this offseason with Cairo. There are my thoughts. Doug, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm similar. I don't think I've heard anybody say, no, that was a horrible trade. I can't believe they did it. Opinion seems to be pretty much unanimous that this was a guy that really needed to have a change of scenery and that he didn't really seem to fit into the Blues' plans going forward. They saved a bunch of money, and they got, 3 assets in return. So I think it's a plus all the way around.
We talk about these Cardinals that leave and go somewhere else and flourish. Am I missing one? Who would be the Blues that maybe they didn't work out here but went elsewhere?
TJ Oshie had a pretty good career when he left.
Osher.
Does it count? Does Tage Thompson count?
Oh, big time, yeah. Big time.
Okay, point for me.
Yeah, rare hockey point for you. Might have to wait till next June for that comet to swing by the Earth's orbit.
He might be the ultimate example.
If that.
He's probably become a better player than anyone else they've traded away in recent years anyway.
That was a horrible trade. I couldn't believe they did it. That's from Sharon's Ladue Pool
Okay,
Boy.
somebody said it. That's the first person I've heard that said, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Favorite trade in St. Louis history?
I know what I got to tell you. Even though we're taking requests for topics, apparently, from Johnny Layup, I like that question.
Not best, but your favorite in the moment. When it happened, you're like, awesome. Hell yeah.
Because the chalk would be Brock Verbolio, even though I don't know how many members of the listening audience were alive for it.
That is the chalk.
Well, I was.
I understand, but I mean,
But even then, we didn't know Luke Brock was going to be any good.
God, I bet somebody who's listened to TMA for a long time is actually going to tell me because they've heard me say it before. And I'm at a loss right now as I'm thinking of best. I can think of ones I really liked. I can think of ones that I didn't like in the moment that wound up, for example, the famous Colby Rasmus trade. I did not like in the moment. And I think it's an undisputed fact that, if they don't make that trade, they don't win the World Series. Yeah. And it wasn't because one guy came over and dominated. It was just the collection that wound up playing key roles in that team's run.
I love the Mark McGwire trade right when it happened.
Yeah.
To get one of the best sluggers in all of baseball.
Edmonds for Bottenfield.
That was
you love that in the moment or just in general?
I would have been 15 at the time, but
I love that in the moment. I thought that was fantastic.
One of the weird deals, and I was talking about this, and I don't know if it was over a beer with some people or on the air, and I apologize if I said it recently because it was relatively recently. The weird thing about that deal is Edmonds was considered a problem in Anaheim, and I don't know if you remember that at all. So I remember interviewing him for KMOV. It was like my 3rd or 4th day at KMOV. And I'm like, oh, God, I got to interview this Edmonds guy. Especially you're more susceptible to that kind of BS when I'm 23. And I'm like, God, I got done. I go, he couldn't have been more, legitimately just kind of pleasant and kind. But that was one of the things. And he said he didn't get along with Terry Collins, who was the manager in Anaheim. And then he went and managed the Mets for whatever reason. But then he felt like Collins kind of leaked some things to make him look like the bad guy in Anaheim, and that's what turned him off, and that's how that reputation, because that's not a reputation he had anywhere else. But yes, as far as the Cardinals had a run, Chairman, starting with what Doug's talking about in '97 with acquiring McGwire, and then Renteria was a trade, was it not?
I don't remember.
Daryl Kyle was definitely a trade.
Yeah.
You had Roland.
Roland was a trade.
For Bud Smith and Placido Polanco and Mike Timlin. And
Matt Holliday a little later.
But Larry Walker was a trade in 2004. Point being, not only were fans here, and I don't like the term spoiled, but I guess you had maybe expectations that were not necessarily reasonable to continue, that were set by behavior that had been taking place. So I don't necessarily fault people for it. Not only did we get great baseball, but we also had an organization that was hyper aggressive in capitalizing on the quality of the team's success, in addition to a group of players that guys liked coming here and playing together. And so you had this run of, if you start it with McGuire in 97 and you close it with Holiday in July of 09, a 12-year run where they were able to have a model of, this guy is about to have his contract run up and we think he's going to love St. Louis, and we're going to take the risk of bringing him over here and then thinking we can sign him to an extension. And they were able to do that with so many guys, and that really set the stage for a hell of a run. Then you pair that with some damn good drafts, and that brought you the second chapter of that elongated success for the organization.
Yeah, they had a winning team, and they had a lot of money coming in with a favorable TV contract and a stadium that was mostly full on most nights. So they could play it like a big market team does now.
Somebody said it in the text inbox. I remember being excited about the Mark Mulder trade.
Mark Mulder, yeah. Kiko Calero, Dan Herron. I'm trying to think on a couple of things on that. I remember being with some guys on the team in, I think it was 06 spring training, and Spezio had just come over, and we were enjoying some libations, and it got aggressive that evening, by the way, in which Spezio reached across the table, was wearing a Titleist hat, Doug, and he just looked me in the eye. I don't believe his eyes blinked.
What did he say?
He might be able to elaborate on why that was the case. And he just started tearing up my hat. And I just met the man about 2 hours beforehand. But we were having a lovely evening.
Yeah.
Didn't really ask any questions either. Saw him the next day at camp.
Yeah.
But in that conversation, maybe earlier, probably a couple hours earlier, before a gentleman just reached across and just started ripping up my hat, when maybe everybody was in a different state of mind. I remember somebody saying, he goes, "Oh, you got Mulder too?" And he goes, "And he's a free agent," kind of like implying like he's going to have a great year. And one of the people said, Mulder doesn't have the mental or testicular fortitude to go throughout the season and go into free agency. Like, he's not, like some guys are like, I know I got it. I'm good to go. I'm going into free agency. No extension for me. Too bad. And so when he then had the opportunity to close out Busch Stadium, I think that was a few months earlier, and keep the Cardinals' momentum going after the Pujols-Lidge home run, he didn't necessarily have a particularly great start. And so that soured some of the guys on him. Jackson's wrapping me again. We got to wrap. It's TMA 101 ESPN. All right, we got the Doug Armstrong press conference coming up at the top of the hour on the Jordan Kyrou trade. So that is going to be live here on 101 ESPN. You're going to want to stick around for that. We'll also here, before that, have the winner of the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. We are in the Tiger Woods 2000-2001 era with what's going on with Mark's Mulch and Bra Emporium and Mark and the work he's doing. Doug, tell us about Design Air, because Seth Goldcamp makes it possible for Mark's Mulch and Bra Emporium to have this run.
Right. We've been talking about the greatest trades in St. Louis. The best trade you could make is trade that HVAC company you've been using and acquire Design Air to be your people. Put in a call to Seth Goldcamp. He's a fourth-generation family member running that company, and they'll do great things for you. They've been serving St. Louis since 1904. Can you believe that? That's when the company started in 1904, so more than a century of keeping homes comfortable and customers happy, and they also happen to be the longest-running sponsor on TMA. We certainly appreciate that. At Design Air, they believe in honest work. You're not going to be sold something that you don't need. Whether you're dealing with the cold or the heat, they've got your back with dependable service and no pressure solutions. Ask about that maintenance plan where they come out and make sure that your furnace or your air conditioner is ready to go when you need it the most. Visit designairservice.com. Schedule your service today. Design Air, comfort you can count on since 1904. And as always, home of the handsome repairman. Tim just had the Rugged Joe.
Yeah,
I don't know if Joey was with him, but sometimes they come as a pair. The Rugged Joe and Joey. Or you could have the Dashing Steve, the Bold and Daring. You don't know who you're going to get, but you do know they'll all be very, very good at Design Air. Design Air brings the heat.
Yeah, there it is. Think about it. Doug Armstrong press conference coming up here at 11 o'clock live on 101 ESPN. And then you have this Cardinal press conference today at 1 o'clock. Derek Gould detailing what sources are telling him, and that is that Bill DeWitt Jr. will discuss the transition of chairman responsibilities. And at the dais today will be Bill DeWitt Jr., the now 3-decade-long run as chairman of the Cardinals, his son, Bill DeWitt III, and then Chaim Bloom and Anouk Karunaratne. I'm really high on Anouk, and this is just a kind of an aside, because I realize I'm sure Anouk would be one of the first people to say this, even though for him this is his name, but he recognizes that it's a name that isn't like as common around these particular parts. But if I'm not saying, he's a Wash U guy, right? Papers. He was in studio with us. He's been on a few times. He was on when Martin moved his shoe and it knocked us off the air. And I was down at the game. It was one of those Reds games a couple weeks ago, and ran into him and started BSing with him. And I was thinking to myself, man, this guy, met his son who just played baseball. I think he was wearing his jersey. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy is a sharp guy, but I would imagine he is going to be moving on inevitably because he's going to be in demand. So the idea that the Cardinals might be giving him additional responsibilities, and I don't know that to be the case, but I don't know that he would be at the dais if he weren't going to be in that role. I think that is a really good thing, because I think that keeps a bright mind on board with the organization. So that's a brief aside. It's probably not something, even if people are thinking of the top 5 things that they're thinking about with regard to the Cardinal presser. You got the Blues at 11 and the Cardinals at 1. But, I think you kind of have an idea of what you have with Bill DeWitt Jr., who I am of the opinion will go down as, at the moment, the greatest owner in St. Louis sports history. I realize it's an unpopular opinion for some. I understand that. That's fine. And then his son. They've been around long enough to have a read on there. Bloom's popularity incredibly high at the moment, and understandably so. But I would tell you that I think Anouk Karunaratne's aptitude and way to play a role in shaping the organization for its short-term and long-term future has great value.
Both pressers will be here on 101 ESPN.
There you go.
1 p.m. for the Cardinals, obviously, and then 11 for the Blues.
What is the Mount Rushmore of St. Louis pro sports owners?
Let's see what I got for you, Doug. Bill DeWitt, Tom Stillman, Gussie Busch.
That's who I had. And I got Georgia Frontier, maybe.
Tim owns the
She
South
brought us
Side
the
Seaman.
Rams.
I own the South Side Seaman, perhaps the most storied fantasy sports enterprise. I mean, Jackson didn't say I should be there. He's just he's stating a fact.
Just
I do own the
listing,
South Side Seaman.
you can make your own Mount Rushmore. I'm just listing candidates.
Okay.
And Tim should be mentioned.
I didn't have him listed as a candidate.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay. Maybe the Solomons, too. They got us the Blues. Georgia Frontier got us the Rams for 21 years.
The Rock?
The Rock. I wouldn't put the Rock in there, no.
That's interesting. You wouldn't put him in there.
Because the Rock and Tim were my first two.
Oh, Frank.
Well, I'm a Rock lemming.
Stop this.
I'm a Rock lemming.
Well, I did love The Rock when he first appeared on the scene. God, I love that.
You know, he tries sometimes. Ballers, he did not try.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, they came to Little Rock when I was doing TV there, and I was behind I was back in the locker room. Doug, I did a sit down with the big boss man.
Oh, did you really?
A sit down.
Jesus.
Gosh, what do you even ask?
Was he in
What do you
kayfabe?
ask?
I think he was trying to figure out if I was going to be in, you know what I mean? Like he's feeling
Probably
it out.
A little dance they have to do all the time.
Right. And with Chris Jericho, who was big at the time, Doug, remember Y2J?
I don't.
And then I remember Chris Benoit. Now his end became very famous, but he absolutely stayed in character during our little exchange.
You interviewed Chris Benoit?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
What do you mean, wow?
Do you not know the Chris Benoit story?
The Canadian crippler.
Oh, gosh. Okay, you guys go ahead.
No, the Chris Benoit story transcends wrestling. I'm not going to explain it right now.
He's not going to explain it to you either.
Right. And you actually got to interview him?
Yep.
Wow.
I think Jackson's starting to realize how big of a star he's working with right now.
That's I mean, cool would be the wrong word in that context, but it's certainly noteworthy.
Was that the guy that killed the family?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Bill Veck. That's from We Too Low.
Bill Veck of the Browns, yeah. Carolyn Kendall's getting some votes. I think it's Augie Bush, Tom Stillman, Georgia Frontier, and Bill DeWitt Jr. I think that's your Mount Rushy.
There you go. Doug is released as Mount Rushy. We got a break. It's TMA 101 ESPN. On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore with FanDuel's Super Sub. If your player subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute, so you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Doug, you got to play for us? This Jackie Papers have been making us money.
I'll have a play.
Yes.
I like to keep it local. I'm looking at the over-under on the Cardinal game tonight. It's at 9. Matthew Libator has struggled. Arizona's going with Mitch Bratt, who's making his debut. I think they'll score more runs than 9 between the two teams. It kind of came to life there in the 9th inning last night, so I'm saying go over on 9 runs, Cardinals, Diamondbacks.
There you go. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals Diamondbacks tonight, 6:45 p.m. Matthew Liberatore on the mound for the Cardinals. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
CMA 101 ESPN 100 West Dental is known, of course, for the work that Dr. Pryor does at the offices on Manchester in Baldwin. But now he is helping people out with their sleep. If you are dealing with sleep apnea, Dr. Brandon Pryor and his team at 100 West Dental, online at 100westdental.com, can help you out without getting on a CPAP. They have a custom oral appliance, is what he calls it, that can help you with sleep apnea. If it is something you're dealing with, I feel terribly for you. I didn't deal with sleep apnea, but I had a real sleep problem, and it's a brutal way to live. Imagine if it could be tended to and how much your life would change. 100westdental.com. That's Dr. Brandon Pryor, 100westdental.com. The offices on Manchester in Baldwin. We want to make sure we are out early today because Doug Armstrong's press conference is going to play in its entirety here on BK and Ferrario, and then the DeWitt press conference at 1 o'clock will also play in its entirety here at 1 on 101 ESPN. So we are going to clear the way to make sure that that is aired in its entirety. Time for us to go. We're heading down the hall for our Nitwit Hour. This is the Morning After, presented to you by Brian and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.